How's it going, guys? Man, the link is posted in the chat. Matter of fact, let me post it to all the destinations. I'm gonna need y'all help today, guys, or tonight, because I have been, y'all know I got ADHD, and I got hyper focused on developing the my AI. I told y'all I call it just baby warlock because so real quick, guys, my philosophy so far, I've been developing like this little AI just for fun, uh um for about like close to a year now, maybe. And one thing I've noticed is when everybody's running these LLMs or the AIs or whatever, really it's a glorified chat bot. Just like your real life child, you have to teach it skills, right? You have to not only teach it teach your AI, right? Here are the tools, here are the recipes, but you actually got to teach it how to cook as well, right? It doesn't just like come out the woodwork out the gate. Yo, Anton, how's it going, big bro?
Good, Tyrus. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I'm going over my AI stuff right now, man. Oh shit, here we go. Hey Tommy, what's good, man?
Again,
What's
I thought you did Shiva after your Cavs lost, got swept by the Knicks, man.
Bro, see, I wanted to try to start this off on a good note.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself because I was up and you were not responding.
It's a little sensitive, dog. You forget Miles Garrett just got traded too, dog. You got to chill.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
It's ugly up in Ohio right now, dog.
I forgot. Let's remind you,
I got a lot of boys from Akron, so I'm hearing all the pain right now.
Some of my friends are from Urbana, so I already know.
Yeah, guys, it's pretty rough up here in Northeast Ohio right now. Not gonna lie, it's
try being a Jets fan. That's all I'm gonna say. Try being a Jets fan.
But yeah, you guys are in New York, so, you know what I mean, or at least you're in New England area.
I'm in Jersey.
Have you seen the list of quarterbacks, Antoine?
Yes.
Come on, hey, stop. Hey, shout out to Paul and them boys. The last stream they did that. That's the sports talk, man, and that's why I intentionally avoided it the last few weeks. You know what? Before we even get into anything, first and foremost, Anton, what have you been up to this past week?
Okay. Finally getting my work schedule set up, back on weekends and everything else, Saturdays and Sundays. So I'm able to be here. I'm able to be on any other show BMU got. I'm working with Mr. Bennett and the Sparta on on our channel there, trying to get some stuff going and everything else. So that's just about it.
Tommy, what have you been up to this past week?
Hi.
Hey.
Main character syndrome.
What you been up to this week, Tommy?
Man, just chilling, man. Just, ain't too much. Madden in college football they about to release the whole little thing tomorrow on that. So, just chilling. I ain't stressing too much, man. I try not to watch the news because of the topic you talking about now. So, it hit different when the veterans got to look at this stuff, and like I done told some people I know, like there's places over there that's getting, that I've set my feet on, so this hit a little different, and it gets a little irritating when you're having conversations with people who don't have anything personally connected to it, but are so gun ho with sending people over there. It's just, it
Exactly.
gets
Yeah.
Definitely. They got no skin in the game, but and
exactly.
like they got send them. Okay, you know they
Yeah.
want to come over? No, but they need to send them. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I still got friends that are still in.
Exactly.
I served.
Exactly.
I served. My brother-in-law served. 3 of my cousins served. But you're so okay about sending my colleagues over there, and yet you got no skin in the game.
You know who the worst, Antoine? The I would have veterans. If I went back, I would have. Like the most patriotic ones are the one. Look, man, I tell people straight up, man. I think I was so. If you anywhere around, I say over 43. Dog, if you ain't sign up, don't talk to me, dog. Because when and I'm gonna just say when we were told we were directly hit, if you ain't jumping in, and what we talking about? Straight up. 9/11 2001. If you didn't get up and go do something about it, I'm not trying to hear shit from you. Straight up.
Exactly. And
I
here's
had
the
people tell me, "Oh, I had a family and I was making so much money." I know people that joined with a family. You know, like it's just oh, I was in there. Oh, I was. That's cool, but just respect the fact that when somebody directly came here, you wasn't. So we don't want to hear about you being 50 years old and oh, if they called me now, I would go. You washed, and you know you're washed. So it's easy to say that now. You know, just
I put it like this, Tommy. For me, I mean, I'm here in Jersey. I ain't that far from the World Trade Center.
yeah,
All right. So I tell a lot of people on these panels who aren't from around here, September 11th is always going to hit different around here in the tri-state area. It's always going to hit different down in the DMV
yeah, for sure.
because
I need the audience to understand exactly what Anton is talking about here and what Tommy is talking about. And I'll clean it up a little bit because sometimes these guys are a little bit more aggro than I am as a vet. Believe it or not. Guys, there is nothing wrong with being a civilian and supporting the military and thinking your military is the best and all that. That guys, that's fine. That is not the same, or that is not patriotism. You can't call that patriotism when you're really just being reckless with the lives. You see what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how badass a military might or might not be. Either the war is, and I know some people will go the deeper level about there is no just war, but, and what we're talking about as Americans, either the war is just or it's not. Everybody understood Afghanistan. 9/11 hit. Anton's point. Whole country felt that. Iraq was illegal. We just straight up made that shit up. That's being reckless with lives, not just U.S. soldier lives, everyone's lives. Think about how many generations of civilians we took out. Their entire bloodline is non-existent. It ended when we invaded. You see what I mean? And that's what we mean. Like, don't be in a rush. Don't be so happy to engage in something that you know is inherently meant to spill blood. It's already bad enough as it is for you to talk about it as if it's a glorified combat sport, like a gladiator ring. It's not. You know what I mean? And if you're not going to put yourself in the position, more importantly, you better watch how you talk to the people who have. Because at the end of the day, everybody here knows, and if you've been rocking me for a minute, I have said it multiple times, I am a big resume person. You better have the credentials to come up here and at least the audacity to feel some type of way and say what you got to say. And a lot of you guys, man, don't have the resume to be this bold. Guys, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, like, this is the cold part, right? Like, because I'm always honest with it. Like, I didn't even join on some, like, patriotic this, and like I joined the situation I was in, right? But what my point is the most gun ho, the most, fly the biggest flag out the back of your truck guys are the guys that was 18 plus during that time, and you was nowhere to be found, brother. And I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all don't care about us like y'all try to say y'all do. See, actions
That's facts.
over words. I'll ask all of y'all: have y'all ever been checked up on at any job outside the military as a veteran? Has anybody ever came up to you and said, "Hey, you good?" Da, da, da? Not one time. I've been out since 2007. Every job I get, I have to put down that I'm a disabled veteran, etc., etc. Not one time since 2007 has anybody came in and said, "Hey, you good?" Da, da, da. So it sounds good. Oh, we love our vets. Da, da, da. And mind you, I don't care if you don't do it. Just stop faking like you do. That's my thing. Because you really don't.
We got phone auto talk. Thanks for supporting the channel, but there's something wrong with the military soldier who always has an opinion about something, but has never fought a war for the American people. So I'm not sure who he's implying, but even for the soldiers who haven't deployed, they still went through the process and was in a position to deploy if ordered to, if the deployments came up, if the deployment orders came up. You know what I mean?
This is the part that, and I'm assuming this person is a veteran, literally based off of that comment. People in the military don't just die at war, brother. Exactly. We had a helicopter go down in a training mission down in Corpus Christi, Texas. They hit they was doing night ops and hit an electrical wire and went down, and only one person survived. You don't just die when you overseas in war.
That's true.
Yeah, training missions. We had one guy that was doing a training mission, and he was doing something he wasn't supposed to do, but flew out the back of the helicopter. So this misnomer that the danger is only when you over at war, it's not true either.
I got a better, Tommy. I got it better, and anyone else in the Army knows what I'm talking about when I say these three letters: the NTC. And Tyrus, right there, you already know what I'm talking about. But for those who don't know what I mean by the NTC, that is the United States Army National Training Center in Fort Irwin, California. Yes, the Army has a training base in the middle of the Mojave Desert. And if you want to know how big this place is, let's just say I had an opportunity to put some night vision goggles on, got to a certain point, and I got to see Vegas at night from the desert.
Anton.
What's up?
Here's my only pushback, my one pushback to what you just said.
Okay.
I still rank Fort Polk, Louisiana, the worst. 30-day training in that swamp in the middle of July? Absolutely not, sir. Never again. Never again.
I heard the stories about that place, man.
All right. Okay. These last two comments. Let's get this understood.
All right, hold up. Which one do you want me to pull up first? Hold up. Before you go off, Tommy, I want to get Tom Cornell. Shout out to you. Phone auto talk. Tommy's about to respond to your first comment. So, you know what I mean. Let's give it a shot real quick. Jake, Krasik, I think what they're trying to say is that no recent wars were fought for American people than for some other reason. Like for sure, that's like for sure. You know what I mean? All right, so This is the first one you fired up. So I'm gonna read it out loud. Then Tommy, you can go ahead. Phone auto talk. You signed up for the job underwater. Welders died too, but they signed up for the job.
Yeah, well, I was saying that one and the next one is essentially exact same.
And then Jay, that's what you joined the military, knowing that there's a chance you might not come home alive. It's part of the job.
And the same thing too. So let's get this understood.
Okay.
Nobody's up here complaining about the danger. Nobody's up here complaining about what happened. Nobody's complaining about that. What we are complaining about is you pussies that like to sit there and talk all of this shit about how big and bad you are. But when something happened to your country, you sat your pussy ass at home and came up with every excuse in the fucking world why you didn't or couldn't go. But then are so gun-ho to push other people out to go do that is what we're talking about. Nobody's complaining about the danger. You never heard me say, oh my God, we had an RPG shot at us. We got followed by an Iraqi warship. I haven't complained about that not one time. But what I will have somebody do is act like a fucking cheerleader to go send people that I know over there on some bullshit, just like what he just said earlier, to fight a war that ain't got shit to do with the American people. That's the problem. Yep. And I'm talking to the people that will root for us to go over there and do that shit is what I'm talking about. And when you get, again, I'll double back. When you hit these, I'm proud to be an American, gun-ho, this, that, and the other. I go back to, remember the Kaepernick situation. I used to have conversations with some of my guys that didn't agree with it. Mm-hmm. I said, he went and spoke to a military dude. It was their idea for him to do that.
Yeah.
And then you're going to double back and tell him how he's disrespecting some shit that you ain't never even been in. Because if we want to keep it solid with you, and we all in the military, I've seen people run in the building for colors. If you want to talk disrespect, I've seen people that's out in the uniform you saying he's disrespecting, run into the building so they can miss colors. So they didn't have to, do what you're supposed to do for colors. Mm-hmm. See, I know the inside of it, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, to double back to what I was saying originally, though, was, again, like I said, it's a specific person that I'm talking to who's the couch veteran. If I went back to 18, I would have veteran. That's the person I'm talking to.
Airborne Rangers.
Yeah, guys, real quick, before we continue, this is why, Tommy, like, I understood 100% what you said. I was just trying to clean it up for the audience so they can understand. And Photo Auto Talk, I'm going to tell you from my perspective exactly what Tommy was saying. Bro, we are so sick of hearing about the fake tryhards with I would have joined the military, but I would have punched the drill sergeant in the face. I don't respect authority. Like, shut up. Those phone auto, those be the most, like, the ones that yap about this shit the most. And those are the ones who got the most to say about the people who have put themselves in a position, right? So, like, here's the, like, with your earlier example, like for this one, right? Sure, welders died too. You signed up for the job, but so what? That means you can't have compassion and empathize with that person. They were still doing a very difficult job that is very, as y'all know, underwater welding is not for the weak.
That's that right.
And that's mandatory. There ain't no AI coming for that job description anytime soon.
I got a friend who was in the Army, and he works as a salvage diver.
I got a friend here now, right now. He's a chief. He matter of fact, he's supposed to be on the crew that recovered the ship that went out to the moon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he do all that type of shit.
And so, right, imagine then getting mad at a group of welders who's like, man, our company sent us out here with some shit equipment again. Yo, our suits, once again, they ain't been serviced properly. Would you go to that panel and be like, man, you welders knew what you was getting into when you signed up for the job. Kind of, you know what I mean? Let's see the threshold moment. Colin Kaepernick with the white mommy and daddy that adopted him, etc. Colin Kaepernick. Oh my God.
Whatever.
It's nonsense.
No, here's the funny one, Tarus. There are a lot of jobs out there that are more dangerous than the military, especially when we were at peacetime. We were at peacetime when that helicopter crashed. We were at peacetime when my boy fell out the back of a helicopter. We were at peacetime when one of my chiefs lost his leg because the elevator slammed down on and knocked his whole leg off. I don't know. I'm gonna be solid with you. I think most of the deaths that I dealt with in the military was during peacetime.
So
it was peacetime where two guys at the NTC died of carbon monoxide poisoning. It was
Tommy.
We had a truck roll over at this one area called Valley of Death, and had to set up an LZ that had the medevac back.
Guys, as y'all know, I was deployed twice. My MOS was 88 Mike, which is a glorified IED finder in Iraq. Thankfully, the second deployment, we was running gun trucks, convoy security. But that first deployment was nothing but HETs and 915s and PLSs, aka IED finders, and not the EOD kind. You know what I mean? And there was still, in the active combat zone, jobs technically more dangerous than what we were doing.
And I bet you didn't get a cyber tab for it too.
No. Mr. Bean,
it's one of the most dangerous jobs that you can have is driving truck. Drove trucks for 15 years, so I mean, I get it.
Beans, good evening, sir.
What up, though?
First, before you continue, Beans, everybody, I'm gonna try to make this a thing now. Beans, how was your week? Any updates?
Well, I can't talk about my week on this panel because I'm not trying to bring drama, but I'm good though now.
Are your sports teams good at least? Anything like that?
Nah, not really. All the guys I root for is at home.
for example, Beans, my Cleveland Cavaliers got swept by Anton's team, and then the Cleveland Browns traded away Myles Garrett. You know.
Now, my favorite player right now is Pablo Banchero down in Florida.
Yeah.
And and they had a 3-1 lead and they lost, man. So that broke my heart for the young fella. I really ain't cared about it since then.
So, based on what you heard, everything, I know you hopped up. What you got for us, man?
Yeah, you know, I am. The older I get, the more I am concerned with the legacy that I leave behind. So I wanted to make sure I even took even this second so that my face could be shown saying this. To all the people who go into the military, salute to you, but not because you went to the military. Salute to you because you made a better choice. And a lot of people be doing wrong things and making bad choices in their life. But that one tends to be a better choice. So salute to you for at that young of an age being able to make that decision. To the people who actually end up in combat zones, who actually literally are putting their life on the line. I'm mixed about it because I know a lot of times that shit just be about money. I'm mixed about oppressing other people around the world, our military being used for that, to take other people's shit and all that. And I don't care about, if we didn't do that, you wouldn't have the internet. Well, nigga, I was alive in the 80s. I survived without the internet.
I hate that shit too.
But the fact that you still, because I don't think most people even think about it that way, the fact that you still out there doing your thing, you signed up, and in your heart of hearts, you trying to look out for your country, I'm not going to dismay you on that. And I'm going to show a little bit of appreciation because I have tough talk for the military, but y'all doing something completely different right now. To your point, you're addressing how people treat military personnel. So I don't want to come up here and talk about what the military personnel do. That would be disingenuous. I need for you to be able to have this time for you to talk about what you do sacrifice, what you do provide, and the reason why we should sort of, salute you in a way, right? Without a motherfucker coming up saying, but what about?
Well, no. Beans, I just want to make sure you understand what we were saying. I'm not saying that you should salute me. I even started off saying I didn't even join on some like proud to be an American type thing. Like I joined to get out of my situation. I was in message. I needed to get out. What I'm saying is stop saying what you don't really mean. Oh, we love our veterans. No, you don't. They homeless all over the country. Again, I haven't had one job where somebody came and said, hey, you doing good? Not one. I got PTSD, anxiety, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not asking people to,
right?
But they choose to come out and say we care about our veterans and da da da.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said in the comments earlier, like these are kind of get mad when somebody thanks for. I don't get mad if somebody thanks for my service. It is what it is. I do know more than likely you really don't care, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But what I'm saying is, if what this country presented towards their veteran was true, then people will be getting treated a lot more better.
Exactly.
And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you knew I wasn't doing no kind of rebuttals. Because you've been around for me giving
No, and even some of the stuff you say, I'll be getting. I think it's a lot. I think it's some nuance in there that you don't know about. But I'll be hearing what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about it, right? I'm glad you brought that up, the nuance part. Because that's the thing about it. When you're not in something, you have when people aren't in what you're in, you have to understand they don't care about the nuance. It's a tough way to live, but they just don't. They can only judge by what they know. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's nothing you can tell. Why the fuck was we in Vietnam? Right?
No, I'm not talking about that.
No. I'm explaining me though. That's why I said I want you to know it wasn't no rebuttal. What I'm saying is I've been on multiple panels going hard on the military guy. I want to be on one where people could see me saying I understand. That I absolutely do respect you. I appreciate the fact that most of the men I know went to the military are doing good. Like at a minimum, they got a job. If they not married, they was for 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Because we're getting older. You know what's going on with this gender war stuff, right? So, but I'm just saying, like, most of the guys I know that went to the military, they all the ones I know came home, and they all right. So I know it's something positive going on inside that military.
Well,
I'm glad to see people get,
So real quick, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and that way everybody knows exactly that I've been on record on other panels saying exactly this.
Dr. Messi, you are absolutely right. I want to be clear. In 2006, at 18 years old, I knew what I was signing up for. We was knee deep in both them damn wars, and here I go right to the recruiter station. I'm like, I don't want to go to college, but I don't want to be in my mom's house either. So, I get that, but I'm glad you also clarified that just because that is the reality doesn't mean we should just be reckless with lives. Because, for example, guys, I'm a liberal. I think y'all guys kind of understand that by now. I'm a huge Obama fan, but he has flaws. Just because we destroyed Libya successfully doesn't mean we should have been in Libya in the first place.
Okay.
Right? We gotta be able to acknowledge those things. And so let's make sure that when we're saying we don't want our military, we want boots on the ground, we're not criticizing the troops. We're criticizing the decision making from the leadership. That's all I want.
Correct. And
now I'm conflicted, Tarus. I don't know what to think about you no more. I'm conflicted.
And I agree with you 100%, Tarus. 100%.
Yeah, and see, but Beans, Tommy's been rocking with me for like 2-3 years. Anton's been rocking with me for about a solid couple months. Beans, you've seen me around before. Nothing I said was anything new. I know we don't know each other, but I'm just saying I got it on tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing about Libya, though, like, You saying that out loud. Hey, protect this man at all costs. I'm worried for you. I'm scared. So I'm going.
Why?
Bro, you can't be talking like that out loud.
Here's the gift and curse about us veterans, right? This is a gift and a curse. Mm-hmm. We can say whatever we want. The curse is even the military is going to be like, they just cranky vets yelling at the clouds. Nobody takes them seriously. They're AM radio. You see what I mean? They just kind of, you see what I mean? Anton, Tommy, is that not true?
No, that's real. I was on the ship. We was,
you know what I mean?
AM radio.
Right? We were guarding an Iraqi oil rig. And I said, so what we doing here? They said, well, we guarding this. I said, why? Oh, because they said they was going to burn it down. I said, but it's theirs. They said, yeah, I know. I said, man, what the fuck are we doing? What? It's insane. So yeah, I did. And what I was saying to you, Beans, is more towards, because I know your views towards the disability thing, and that's why I said the nuance in there. Like, do you know? I just put in my thing, and they literally told me, yes, we know that you have all of these things. It just ain't service connected.
Oh shit!
Ow! Wait a minute. Ow! So when I went to my upper ups and told them I had a migraine, and they gave me a couple of ibuprofen and sent me to the rack, but because it's not listed in my records as a migraine, because I didn't know what a migraine was, I thought it was a headache.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mind you, there's literal information that tells you that if you was around JP5, which is jet fuel, which I've been soaked in multiple times, it can cause chronic migraines. They don't care. Mind you, I went and got a CAT scan, and they said my migraines can get so bad I can get a stroke from it. So that's why I had to push back when y'all talk about because I'm like, it's not as easy as people think it is, and some people it is. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I never like push back hella hard on you, Beans, because some people they just get lucky. I don't know if they find the right doctor. But for most people, this is 10, 15, 20-year battles for some people to get shit. And these are people that where the shit is documented. If it ain't documented, that shit is even more of a struggle. Like that shit
I know you know your history to know that even the wars that Tommy and Anton and I went in wasn't shit compared to what them soldiers went through in Nam.
Yeah.
Some of them veterans, real combat veterans, Beans, still ain't getting compensated. They still fighting the system to this day for that shit, man.
Agent Orange veterans back in Vietnam, Agent Orange.
You hear their stories, bro. It's rough. Like, I remember a couple years back, this is when I was still in part-time. I was coaching at the high school I graduated from. And one of the guys I was coaching, his father served in Nam. And the stories he was telling me, I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, you send them like, yo, this is unreal. And the thing is, if people truly heard the stories of a lot of veterans have to deal with, especially a lot of those OGs that served in Vietnam, as well as the ones who served in Korea, and unfortunately that's called the Forgotten War because most people forget about that.
That's true. Most people do forget about that one.
When you hear them stories, you stand there like, how the fuck do people not know about this?
Bro, Korea, Nam, some of them South American campaigns, the jungle war,
Panama, Grenada.
Those are the combat. Those are the environments that you read about in history, where the disease wiped out more soldiers than the actual combat did. You know what I mean? That where you know, like back in the day, those were the environments people was catching gangrene. I think that's what they called it in the crap like that. So if you got infected, nah, bro, they couldn't just clean it out. They had to chop your shit off, or that was it.
I heard stories, stories from guys from Nam, and you hear them in the movies. They going through the rice paddy fields and everything else. Yo, if you walking through the water, don't take a piss because this is what's gonna happen. And you like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And
But see that's the obvious stuff. I tell you stuff like from my point of view in the Navy, asbestos, all through them ships, Oh well, Now I will give them credit. Like currently, they're trying to do something about it, but for a minute, the ship I was on, it actually got decomped right when I was getting out. That's how old the ship was, and it had asbestos on it.
Wow. Can I ask y'all a question?
What's up?
Of course.
As a civilian, I want to do some math real quick. Look it up on ChatGPT, but I was gonna ask the question this way, but the framing might be incorrect, so forgive me if it is. Why don't we see more veterans in politics? Now, I just realized I'm saying that from a very naive perspective because I've never actually looked it up. So I'm going to look it up right now as we talk about it.
You know what's crazy? I'm going to take a stab at this, but Beans, I've never looked it up. So what I'm about to say is pure speculation and just from my experience.
You know what they say about assumptions? It's the fuck-ups.
I think for a lot of veterans, we get kind of tired with the government bureaucracy. You just don't want to be bothered.
Exactly.
For a lot of veterans, it's almost like what would be the point? Like the country didn't protect you when you were serving. They didn't care about you when you're serving. You're gonna go into the same swamp and end up being part of the same swamp that does nothing for the vets. Right. So there's that. And then unfortunately, Beans, I'm not sure if the veterans the combat vets, at least that we do have in Congress or serving in the government are worth the fuck. Because guys, I have to apologize to the country all the time for my state delivering y'all JD Vance. Fuck him. I hate his ass. I hate him. I hate him. And guess what, Beans? He's a veteran.
Word is, Bruce, they about to be on his bumper.
Hey, Tommy, you see, hey, Tommy and Anton, you see his daddy fled to Argentina. Peter Thiel. Yeah. It took the family to Argentina.
He wasn't a Trump guy until Trump sent him the little the kite, the BVP. He wasn't like that. That's the craziest part of watching a lot of this stuff. It's like you're literally watching people with no integrity.
Yeah. Honestly, Mr. Beans, I can tell you one reason why a lot of us don't go into politics. We don't got time for the bullshit. We dealt with it before. Why the fuck we want to deal with it again? Plain and simple.
That big mic drop? Mic drop fast.
Yeah, that was Big Mike. That was Big Drop. Yep.
Good.
So that's one of the reasons why a lot of us don't go into politics. We ain't got time for the bullshit. We dealt with the bullshit while we were in. Don't want to deal with the bullshit once we get out.
So I got some numbers for you, right? So
okay,
did a comparison. Is that echo me or somebody else? Because I don't hear echo when y'all are talking, but I do when I'm talking. I don't hear it now though. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Good.
So it says of the U.S. adult population, veterans make up 67%. Of state legislators, they make up 10%. Of governors, they make up somewhere between 10 and 20. So just say 15. And then the U.S. Congress is about 18%. So that's the place where you really see them the most that is in Congress, right? Which kind of makes sense from a military perspective. And there, I'm pretty sure in the military, you learn how to politics. So, I mean, they don't get no higher really than Congress, technically. But, yeah, I just be thinking from a city perspective, though, like, you know, sometimes when I listen to, like, if I listen to somebody like Tarus, and this is my issue with politics, period. I don't trust politicians. I've said before, I don't even think black people should be politicians, right? But it's like the thought is, the same thing that Tarus just pointed out about JD Vance. He apologized for why, because like that motherfucker was in the military too. So he has the same kind of information and knowledge that Tarus has, and yet for some whatever reason, Tarus hates the man. And because I just heard Tarus talk about Libya, I'm pretty sure I can trust that his hatred is valid. Right? It's like it's warranted. JD Vance probably earned whatever hatred he has for him, right? So I think that's really the issue. Is that getting into it, you find out that you're inside of this game. You're on this wheel. It can only be played one way. If you don't play it the way they want you to play it, you might get excommunicated and not in a nice way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the reasons why it's like I say I don't want black people involved, and I can see why a lot of more intelligent than the average citizen military people would be like, yeah, nah, I don't want to get involved in that. But when I listen to somebody like Tarus mention Libya and his understanding of it, it automatically makes me wonder, would these towns at a minimum, these towns and these cities do better and fare better under veteran leadership?
Before we get into that, because Beans, please remember, I think that's a good question to get into. But before we get into that, Dame, how you doing?
I'm good. What's up, bro?
Good. Before we begin, any updates on the week? How was your week?
It was good. It was good. Real productive. It was busy, but I saw this prompt and was like, "Yeah, this is something I need to jump on," because it's so rare that this is even brought up on this channel. So I was like, "Oh yeah," because it's usually how Democrats suck. You know, why should you?
We ain't over that yet, Dane. We ain't even got into that yet, Dane. But that's
we ain't even got into the main one.
I heard y'all talking about veterans too. I was in the military too, so I get it.
I know. So before we begin, Dane, what do you got for us so far?
No, I'm just kind of tapping into what y'all saying. It was like, you know, I was in and out because I was like putting my son to bed, so I didn't hear what the last thing you were talking about. But for the most part, I agree with what I was catching what Tommy was saying about cats who how they cosplay as people who actually serve the company or the country. You know, you can buy the gear, you can buy the tactical gear, you could go and march out, be like, oh, what branch of the military serve? Well, I didn't serve, my uncles did, you know, my grandfather did, or something like that. They say they feel like they have the right to get some of the accolades and accommodations based on what granddaddy did 40 years ago. You know, and it's a lot of that the cosplay that kind of bothers me is the people who, you know, you got 2 good eyes, 2 good hands, 2 good feet. You could have joined and really done something for the country, but you'd rather sit there and complain about it and justify it than actually do anything that's going to benefit the country, especially serving. So yeah, I'm agreeing with what y'all got going on, what y'all saying.
I'm not even saying it as like a push that you should have done it or none. What I'm saying is I'm going off of what they say, and that'd be my thing. Is like I got a dude that I used to work with, right? So me and him had a couple of wars. Somebody comes on my this on Facebook. Somebody comes in my comments and goes, "Well, why don't you go?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I would if they called me." Nigga, you're 52.
Yeah,
you're not calling you. So then I go, well, why aren't you a vet, Dan? Oh, well, you know, I had this. Oh, okay. So stop this. Like, I'm the proudest American shit. Like,
and I bet Dan got 50 guns at home.
So let me be clear. He got love America.
Come on, Dave.
I'm not saying that if you ain't a veteran, that you ain't that. I'm not saying none of that. I don't put us no higher, none of that shit. I'm talking about specific people who act like they are, you know, like they love America more than everybody, yada, yada, yada. But when it was time to answer that call, you was nowhere to be found. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not, if the military wasn't for you, cool. And you're probably going to show that. Beans ain't never showed me in anything that he said that he was envious of the military. But he also doesn't talk like, oh, you know, let's send them over there or nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to explain to my dude, like, bro, you're pushing us to go over there. I got friends that's over there. I ran a tank somewhere where I put my 2 feet at. Like, I've been there before. I got friends that are over there right now, and you're just callously just talking about, oh, let's go. Like, what are you over some shit that ain't got nothing to do with us?
Yeah. I was for Fox. I was a flight medic, so I used to fly with people who were injured in campaigns back over to the United States from like Hawaii, from Hickam in Hawaii, Germany, or what have you, Guam, and what have you. And yeah, it's just like it's easy when you know you don't see it. It's easy to just be a number. Oh yeah, 17 people got killed, or so far 20, whatever, 150 got injured, or whatever like that. It's all abstract because it's to you be like, well, because you're comparing it to the 20,000 that got killed on their end. Like, we did well, we only 150 people got injured, 20 people died, but that's still 20 families that's like,
exactly.
Lost somebody.
Exactly. And I tell people this. I didn't mean to cut you off, Dan, but I tell people like this, whether it's in peacetime or in wartime, you are part of that detail. And you have to bring a soldier's body to their families, whether it's in peacetime or in wartime. That is not easy. It is not. I can tell you a situation that happened 30 years ago. I still remember it like it was yesterday. And this happened when I was at Fort Gordon for signal school. There were two guys in my battalion who lost their lives to a drunk driver. Both these guys were in a course that's a 9-month course. One guy was from Chicago, one guy was from Puerto Rico. The guy from Puerto Rico was already there for only about maybe I think like 6-7 weeks. So he knew he was going to be there for a minute. The guy from Chicago had 2 more weeks before graduation. 2 more weeks before graduation, he was going to go home. He was going to marry his fiance. They have a 4-year-old son together. After they would have gotten married, he already had his orders to go to Germany. He was going to go to Germany, get set up, send 2 tickets back to his wife and son, and they were going to fly out there to be with him for the next 4 years. I was part of that detail when we had to bring the bodies to the families. And I still remember the look on his fiance's face saying we were supposed to be married in 2 weeks. And the one thing that still stayed with me to this day was his young son saying, "Have you seen my daddy?" That is one of the toughest things that gave me an introduction of how tough the life we chose is. And to maintain your composure. And I still remember it to this day like it was fucking yesterday. Those are the things most people don't realize. It's not just about what happens when you go down range. It's the stuff that go happen when you're here stateside. Or if you're stationed overseas. Training.
But But you heard the comment earlier, Anton. Even if it's not training, hey, bro, you're a welder. You know what you signed up for. Like, dang, bro. Like, again, it's just it seems to be an ongoing theme in this country to go out of your way to lack empathy for anybody.
I tell people this. Look, talk all you want. Say that you could have joined, would have, could have, should. If you're an able-bodied person, here's a pen for you. Put your name on that dotted line and shut the fuck up.
Or if you do, don't be cavalier about the people we do lose.
Exactly.
Just be like,
hold up. If you're in the Air Force, here's a pen right here. Put your name on that dotted line and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because the Air Force used blue ink. That's why. So I had to make sure.
I know you got to.
All right, guys. All right, so let's get to, before we get to the main topic, let's get to, I think it was going to be a really good discussion, or I hope so. Beans, do you remember the question about military being in?
Yeah, do you all think that even towns and cities, you know what I'm saying, more on a local level, that those places would function better with veteran leadership? You know what I'm saying?
Tommy?
So that whatever positions that facilitates, towns and cities?
I'm gonna keep it solid with you. Means like the veteran thing to me doesn't give you this thing up on civilians or anything like that. Like we people, you know what I'm saying? So the only thing I would say that would give you advantage as a veteran is maybe like military type stuff. But outside of that, I don't think you being a veteran makes you look at anything. I don't think it gives you more. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it gives you more integrity. I think you'll get bought just like anybody else will, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not one to just sit here and go, oh, if it was a veteran, we'd fix everything. Like, nah, we people just like everybody else, to be honest with you.
Well, so just so we don't have to, fuel any redundant answers, I want to take that part off the table, though. Like, we know that anybody could be bought, right? But let's just look at it from a best case scenario situation. Because the one thing that I am, like I said, when I hear Tarus talk about Libya, with the level of understanding that he just showed, even in that simple sentence, that says to me that this person has enough world experience to understand how much it matters for the people of a town and for a city for you to get it right. Like they don't even have nowhere near the understanding of how the world works that you do. They just in a little bubble where they just want to get up and go to work and come home and have dinner and hang out with their friends and raise their kids. They can't even understand the magnitude of what it takes to run a town, let alone run a city, let alone run a state, let alone run a country, right? But you are, I just feel as a military veteran, and I get your point that it's probably not even the majority, but I'm just saying the majority, we don't have a majority of positions for politicians anyway. I think y'all could feel it better with that expanded wisdom on how the world works and being able to facilitate that for a smaller group of people, say in a town or a city.
So you got to remember too, like Tarus is coming from an enlisted point of view, not and most of the people that would be in politics would probably be from the
officers, field grade.
Drawing a blank, but yeah. So and so, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, commission. Yeah. Officers.
Yeah, commission.
Are essentially politicians. Mm-hmm. That's why when they go over there, they do what they're told. You get what I'm saying? So most of the enlisted, put it like this: enlisted would be blue collar, officers would be white collar.
Yeah.
Most of the people that would end up in politics would be officers. Yep. Their whole career is essentially politics, and not politics, say like American government, but military politics. So it's essentially the training ground for them if they want to end up going into real politics, which is essentially what I'm telling you is you're going to end up with the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you were to say, if you took enlisted guys, that will be better, but they're not going to want to mess with us because they know we think like Tarus. They want people that they can control. So if you're going to put them in there, they're going to put the officers who they've already trained to be controlled.
But that's what I'm saying. What if y'all are the ones that's in control?
No, Beans. Can you imagine a bunch of me's unmedicated in Congress?
No, sir. I don't know.
Bro. You don't want to, dog.
Nah.
It is like what they say. It is like Parliament and like them in like Turkey or somewhere. They be throwing chairs and fighting.
You think that's what I'm talking about on the city level, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about on the town. Like on a town or a city level, though, that's what I'm saying. That like if the people are electing y'all and saying, man, no, they got this understanding, right? What are they gonna do? They're not gonna come for y'all like that, right? Like you the military. Y'all know, like I'm just saying, maybe it might go bad because somebody might try to over militarize the place. But if we have that kind of understanding, if you could teach everybody to understand why we probably shouldn't have done what we did to Libya, I think y'all would do a hell of a job.
Can I say something? I think the reason the military works is because what you do is you foster an environment where everybody has the same goal in mind.
Right.
You know, so if there's a objective, you train for it, you execute.
Right.
So it makes it easier to accomplish certain things. If one person in the military gets out and say he wants to get into public office, everybody's motivation is going to be different. Yeah, people want to make it they want to improve the town or whatever, but the way there's not going to be one centralized person saying, okay, here's the established rules of engagement, here's the things that here's the things that we're trying to accomplish, and everybody fall in line to execute his vision or the program. That's the thing. You got too many people who have opinions and the ability to express that opinions with no real repercussions. So in order for it to be as effective as in the civilian world as in the military.
And Beans, everybody's making great points, and I'm going to add to this. Unfortunately, you are giving way too much credence to people being oblivious and naive. You are not giving enough credence to the people who know that shit was wrong and support it anyway. Plenty of them exist. You got to remember, a lot of the times, and this gets to Tommy's point about the officers, the commission, a lot of J.D. Vance, for example, right? The bachelor degree guys, right? These guys tend to get in their positions because they get funded, aka seated by a Peter Thiel or some other lobbyist. And guess what? Prior to them going, a lot of these military guys, Beans, that's in Congress, they didn't go straight from the military to Congress. They went from the military to government contractor to some intelligence job, right? To some NGO, and then got a campaign up together to be like, hey, we'll run you in this district. And even then, that's highly dependent on your political party.
Yep. Because a good number of these officers either did ROTC or they're rank knockers.
Yeah.
You know what they tell us in the military, Beans? Don't call me sir. I work for a living.
Exactly.
Officers are called sir. They tell you straight up, don't call me sir. I work for a living. Like exactly. It's so when if you could get like what Big Mike said in the chat, I'd rather an E9 in charge than an officer. E9 is like towards the top of enlisted, which is our blue collars. And like they're more like if you ever get to a job and you got like that just old boss who just don't give a fuck no more. Mm-hmm. That's what E9s are in the military. Like they don't give a fuck. It's just like
they done. Like
hit me in
literally my cousin was a chief master sergeant. He was an E9.
Damn.
He was the same way. He was just like,
man, look, just don't do.
He was calling officers by their first names.
Oh, don't be an 01.
So basically, they got an outdate, huh?
So Beans, it's really, unfortunately, Beans, it is going to have to be just as nuanced as picking a civilian as your elected official. That's just the reality.
But hey,
because you got to remember, Beans, are you going? And I hate doing this because I think the service, everybody serves, but when we're talking about, again, Congress, when we're talking about effective leadership. Now, what happens if you got two veterans going against each other in the election? Now, guess what, Beans? Now it's not good enough for them to be veterans. You're going to look at them and go, man, what was your actual job in the military?
Yes.
But then you're going to look at what their actual job is, aka their actual skill set, and go, are they actually more qualified than the civilian?
And the worst part, Charus, they could be comparing fruit salads. They could be looking at, who got what ribbons and everything else. You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
You never want to start.
If I had a choice in the matter, I would just listen to people talk. You know what I'm saying? They were like,
for sure.
But I was looking at some numbers. So basically, for a city like Louisville, where I live at, right?
Yeah.
which is almost 800,000 people, right? So they got one mayor, a bunch of Metro Council members, 4 to 10 deputy mayors, chief, top aides, executive aides, 20 to 30 department and director heads like police chief, public works, park housing, corrections. So I'm saying those are the kind of positions I'm thinking about. You see what I'm saying? If we put y'all in those positions, see, that's actually running the city. You see what I'm saying? So now, if you've been in the military and you've been somewhere where these people don't even got water, you know what I'm saying, or some funky ass water, you'll be way more concerned to make sure the people in your spot got clean water. You will make sure you doing your job, and the people that you put in position will also be doing their job. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, like I said, because most of the people I know from the military, they at least have enough discipline, bro, to be able to get out here and work and take care of themselves. And that in itself takes dedication.
Yeah. Dame, Anton, Tommy, before you guys respond to Beans, I do have to, again, talk good about our side for a minute. You know, a lot of us guys, we cleared the background checks. Some of us were approved for security clearances, secret. Some of us, depending on what you did, got top, right? So to Bean's credit, there's a lot of us who's already gone through at least a somewhat federal level verification process already. You get what I mean? To Bean's credit, what say ye?
Yeah, no, I understand the sentiment, and I put it like this, Beans. I think if you took, say, like the crop of veterans and you versed the crop of civilians, which of course the civilian pool would be way heavier, I think you'll find more integrity, I think, in the veteran thing. So I will say that. But like I said, I mean, more than likely the people that are getting chose are going to be officers, and like I said, they're essentially being trained to do exactly what the people that are in office doing right now. So unless it was a situation where they could get some enlisted in there, you know, but again, I would the way that I would say the enlisted would be no different than, say, civilians that aren't rich. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be like if you just got like a blue collar worker that was able to run for office. I think they would do a lot better than these lawyers. And I mean, think about this. Most of the people in Congress are lawyers.
Yep.
We all know lawyers lie. That's literally what they do for a living.
Right.
And that's literally the majority of people that are in Congress. If you look up most of their occupations, they're mostly lawyers. So, and then we get surprised when we get lied to. It's like, this nigga's
it's always fascinating to me when people are so dialed in or bought in that rich people can have poor people's best interests in heart when they make decisions. I mean, it's astounding to me.
It's literally
seriously.
That's a great point.
All right.
Dave Chappelle talked about it. Dave Chappelle, when he said he was in line to vote, and he said this white dude was behind him. He was talking about how he's going to vote for Trump, and he was looking at him as like, "You're a dumbass, don't know. You're going to do nothing but help me. He ain't doing shit for you."
That's a fact. That's a fact. Now,
seriously,
yeah, we need y'all to get together and start that city, man. This says 50 to 75 individuals. I know it's 50 to 75 veterans who could put together a town somewhere that people can come to that want to get away from all this madness, man. We need y'all to do that, bro.
All right, put it like this. Now, I get what you're trying to say, Beans. The only person, the only veteran that I've heard of that was enlisted, got involved in politics. This person became mayor and then later became a governor.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know who I'm talking about.
Ventura.
You got it.
And he was one of the best politicians too, to your credit.
Exactly.
And they hated him, Beans. They hated that name.
Who did you say?
Jesse Ventura. He used to be a wrestler. Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh, Jesse Ventura. Of course, I know who Jesse Ventura is.
That was a Navy SEAL.
Hey, guys, and he's still holding it down right now. out here telling it like it is, man. Love that dude.
He was looking at him like, nigga, you not supposed to say that. What are you doing? He was telling it off.
He don't give a fuck, bro.
Now, see, that is so crazy and amazing, man. Speaking as a civilian, bro, we saw that as goofy because he came from wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people was really taking him serious. They didn't have that understanding about his background.
I was about to say, we didn't know his background. Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know his background. People thought, oh, he was a pro wrestler. Now he's in politics. What the hell does he know?
Right.
People skip those tridents that he wears.
Well, there's a certain amount of latitude you get with celebrity because they feel they know you because they've been a part of their lives for so long. Everybody been watching Jesse Ventura wrestle since they was 10 years old. So they feel like they know him. And I say the same reason, I know we're going to get into Trump later, but the same reason with Trump. But I was like, Trump has been part of the black community for 35 years. The only person whose name's been mentioned more in hip hop in the black community than Trump is Halle Berry.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So it's natural that people have an affinity and a connection to him, and he seems familiar. So that's the reason why Jesse Ventura, Jesse Ventura is kind of he a little off, he a little out there, but he's not scared to tell the truth. That's the thing. And I think the reason why people give him a little more leeway is because they feel like they know him because he's been a part of their lives, active part of their lives, not a passive, like some of these politicians for 30 years.
Exactly. People remember him as a wrestler. They remember him when he was in Predator, when he said one of the most infamous lines.
Same thing. Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't even born in this country, was the governor of California.
Yep.
Couldn't even pronounce California. Called it California. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's starting to, I think that's why people kind of like look at politics the way that they do now, look at the military the way they do now, because there's been so many different things that has come about that has weakened that esteem. You know what I'm saying? On the titles of politics and military. It's just been too much. You know what I'm saying? It's been kind of mocked so much in regular media and in real news from people inside of these positions making some of the craziest mistakes. And I think that's why I don't carry the same esteem that it does. But I would say online, though, mostly, Tarus, those conversations that you hear online with people, and I'm talking about in the chat, but I'm talking about like on panels.
Yeah.
Those conversations where you hear people kind of, dismaying the military, bro, it's because on YouTube, it's a lot of military veterans on YouTube, bro. Mm-hmm. We're on this panel right now. Okay. Yeah. It's a lot of military veterans in this YouTube space. And unfortunately, a lot of them are also what I call conservative douchebags. So they're the ones who get on the internet and tear down poor people. And poor people's response is, you ain't all that because you chose that because that's what they say to the gangbangers. You chose that life. So whatever came with it, don't expect for us to feel bad for you, right? And they say that to the single mamas. You chose that. Don't. So that's why online you kind of hear the pushback that you hear. But I think in reality, in the real world, the only reason why it seems like it is not as respected as it used to be is just because there's been a lot of players in the last few years that made those positions look bad. You know what I'm saying? Made them look like they ain't all that.
I 100% agree with you. And especially for this time period right now, I agree. Take a step back with me at a macro for a little bit, means. I think there's always, or at least I think I can make a solid argument that when it comes to the public perception in U.S. military, that's always wavy, bro. It's always dependent. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, right, as the peak of, let's say, civilian support for the military, let's say World War II, or even the worst of the support of the U.S. military, Vietnam. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, after every single war, you do see an increase in political violence led by veterans, right? Unfortunately, that also tends to be of the right-wing variety. Unfortunately, that tends to overlap with the right-wing rhetoric you just finished mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, who do you think is also going to fill up those government positions you want filled by the military?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the vast majority of people that serve in the military are of conservative nature.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like the Antons, the Dames, the Tommies, the me, Beans, we cannot stress this enough to you. We were the minority amongst minority. You even had more black conservatives in there than black liberals.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even get me started on the Hispanics. And don't even get it started on the half-breeds like me, both Hispanic and black, just the melting pot. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of people, despite the fact that the U.S. military is the most liberal socialist institution we have and the most successful one on God's given earth, we have in it the most conservative leaning people. So that's why that's why I push back for you, Beams.
Yeah.
Well, I think what I really mean is though, that these people, I think it's really still there though. I think, to be honest with you, even when you talk about the Vietnam War, and I'm not disagreeing with you, this is just a separate thought. But even when you talk about the Vietnam War, at that point, the military was already perceived as a political arm, right? You see what I'm saying? Because you had all those different campaigns against the Vietnam War, right? So that's why people had a lot less respect for them and all of that. I think people had kind of understood at that point how the military could be used politically, and that's why you had a lot of, if I will still wouldn't argue it was the majority of the country, but a lot of the country who kind of protest. I've heard horror stories about how people came back and they was called baby killers and all of that type of stuff. But you know, if I just had to pick based on what I've seen, it probably had to be somewhere after the Second War, because it seems legitimately, based on what I've seen, I ain't gonna try to pretend like I'm a historian, but basically from what I've seen, it seemed like legitimately the military was super duper respected. You didn't even play it, nobody even played or was disrespectful towards the military. None during that First World War, none during that Second World War. They didn't play with their vets like that, right? I'm talking about civilians, not the system.
No, I get what you're saying, because it seemed like, and I remember seeing videos of those old newsreels, and I remember talking to old World War II veterans, and they told me, it was like when you heard about guys going off to war, everybody played their part. Everybody was doing their part. All hands on deck to make sure they had the equipment, the weapons, and anything and everything necessary to make sure the job got done. The famous picture of Rosie the Riveter, the white woman with the do-rag showing off her biceps. Women went to the factories, worked those jobs, while the men were deploying.
In the wars, every war prior to Vietnam had a better PR team, because in World War II, you could see the enemy, you could hear what they're saying, you can see the bombs being dropped, you could see everything. So it's like, this is the bad guy, we have to stop the bad guy. And then they aligned with the Japanese who attacked Pearl Harbor. See, this is the bad guy, here is your enemy, this is what they look like. So everybody was all for it. But in Vietnam, people are like, why are we over there again? Well, we're going to fight communism, but are they attacking us or are any of our allies? Well, no, not particularly. What? It's like nobody. They had a horrible marketing campaign. There was no Rosie the Riveter in Vietnam. There was no, Uncle Sam wants you. There was no positive spin put on it whatsoever. Because you know why? Because they couldn't. Because people in college were asking too many questions.
Yep.
Yeah, that Kent State shooting didn't help either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I got
You
friends
People
know
were
what I
like,
mean?
wait a minute. Why are we there? And there was no real answer to it.
Exactly. And
What is our outcome?
And here's the thing most people didn't know. Before the U.S. got caught up in that boondoggle, who was involved in that boondoggle?
French?
There you go. People did not real people. You'd be surprised. A lot of people did not know.
Yeah.
Vietnam,
They thought it was just yeah.
Why do you think France pulled out?
Because they were getting ass kicked.
Besides that, why do you think they pulled out?
I don't know why.
You want to know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were trying to save their colonies in Africa.
The
African wars.
They were spread too thin.
Morocco, Tunisia.
They were spread way too thin.
Spread too thin. They was in a massive amount of debt. Mm-hmm. They needed to consolidate.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Yep. But
it was too hard to hold on to their colonies. And they all said, we had enough. We want out.
Like it'd be hard pressed for any politician to justify attacking anybody who hasn't directly or indirectly attacked either us, the United States, or one of our allies that people know. Because there's a lot of allies that get attacked every day that the American public just don't know about.
Exactly.
You know?
So
that's the thing.
And you know what? I think that's a good time to go into the main topic, guys, and we're just going to get right into it. Everything we're seeing. I think I already know y'all answers, so I guess I'm gonna ask it anyway. Starting with you, Anton. Is Trump the worst president in U.S. history? If so, why?
Is this a trick question?
Hey, man. Hey, we about to see if you know why, though. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Bro, the best way I can say this, he makes James Buchanan look like a choir.
James Buchanan.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, that's elite ball knowledge right there.
I went there. Yes, I went there. He makes James Buchanan look like a choir boy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He thinks he knows what he's doing. He has no idea how things work. And this is a person who's too used to being in charge and having a final say and thinks, I can just do whatever I want. Not realize there's a term called checks and balances.
He doesn't care to know that things work because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to know how things work. Like, I don't mean to pull up your time, brother.
You're good.
Go ahead.
Okay. My opinion, my thing is, you go into Iran, but you don't have a strategy. You don't have a strategy. You don't have a exit plan. You just go in just because, and you have no idea how to get out. Basically, we all heard the term ready, fire, aim, right? He just fired and didn't give a rat's ass about trying to aim. That's what he did. Forget being ready. He just fired and the hell with aiming. And now he's stuck in this boondoggle. And instead of just taking responsibility, saying, okay, yes, I was wrong, it's my fault, what does he do? Duck and cover. It's somebody else's fault. It's the radical left. It's Obama. It's Biden. It's always somebody else's fault but him. You wanted to come back to this position because you felt like it was your birthright. Now,
you didn't want to go to jail. He didn't seriously. He didn't care.
That too. And now, when everything's hitting the fan, it's always somebody else's fault. You got a captain, and our friend Mandrell brought this up at one point when we were talking. You have a captain that's the Secretary of Defense.
That's crazy. Historically, it's always been a general, at least a brigadier general.
At least stars. At least a star.
At least one star. No bars.
Hey, we don't like DEI though, guys. Remember?
Yeah. But yeah, we all know who benefited from it, but we'll go into that. You look at the people that he put in charge, and all they're doing is kowtowing to him, grifting towards him. Because they don't want to be in his line of sight when they don't do what he doesn't like. It's funny how he loves to play himself as this tough guy, but has the most fragile ego I have ever seen before in my life. He loves talking about how much he loves the military. But this guy found a way to get 5 deferments to not serve because of bone spurs. Explain that to me.
Yeah, Trump doesn't love the military. He sees it as an extension of his own image, world image of power. His own ego. That's why he wanted tanks rolling down the streets during a parade, because he saw Kim Jong-un do it, and he says, if he can do it, I can do it better. There's people who have no vision. All they can do is compare themselves to other people and try to outdo them.
Yeah.
His whole presidency is based around trying to outdo Barack Obama. That's his whole presidency.
Repeat that. Repeat it.
Yeah, say it to the people in the back who couldn't hear you.
Hey.
Some people have no vision. They only can see what people have done that's great and dismantle it and try to outgreat them. His whole presidency is based on showing that he's better than the first black president of the United States. He's supposed to be. He's a rich white guy. He's supposed to be better than Barack Obama. There's nowhere in his frame of reference or mind or sphere of influence that he shouldn't be better than a black man who's half African. I mean, so that's why his number one goal is to erase everything Barack Obama's done, or try to piggyback off it, change it slightly, and make it seem like it's something totally different. He has no original ideas. He has no. I remember somebody said, even if he had a plan, he doesn't have the mental capacity or the empathy to achieve those goals. You know, they said he couldn't find Ukraine on the map. If you put a U and a crane on and a picture of a crane on it, he couldn't find it. He doesn't know how terrorist works. He doesn't know how geopolitical politics works. He doesn't know how anything works. He doesn't know how the economy works. So it's just one of those things where is he the worst in history? It'd be hard to press to say in history because of the atrocities that other people have done that's caused so much degradation and suffering of indigenous people, black people, and stuff like that, and people of color. So I can't say the word, but in modern times, in the last 60 years, I would say absolutely 100%. And the worst part about it is Dave Chappelle says something so insightful. He's the most honest liar in the history of politics.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you know what? Like when he did this one thing on SNL, he was like, everything y'all think we doing in that room, we're doing in that room. I'm honest about it. We doing the shit you think we're doing in that room. And now that I've said that, I'm gonna go back in that room. And the hard part about it is I feel like anybody, especially anybody of color, if you are a supporter of Donald Trump, you are either morally corrupt or ignorant or by choice. Because you know the amount of stuff you have to look past in order to come to justifications of why you can support the person is astounding to me. there's an old saying, and it's funny. My dad used to say it a lot, and then I heard the lieutenant on the wire, Daniel, say it. Some people would rather live in shit than have the world see them working a shovel.
Yep.
Some people know they got fooled. They made a bad choice, and they can't bring themselves to say, I made a bad choice. I made a bad decision. I need to change up. I learned from it, what have you. They would just rock with it. And those are the dangerous ones when it comes to politics.
Yep.
Because they will ride with it, knowing that it's wrong, knowing that it's against their best interest, but they can't have the world or anybody in their sphere to see them that they made a mistake. The ego is too strong, or the cognitive dissonance is explosive as well. But the ego of some people is just crazy out there.
So let me tell you guys why I believe Trump is the worst president in U.S. history. This man's second term really makes me wonder if he could give Andrew Jackson's Trail of Tears a run for his money when it comes to the level of cruelty he has displayed to human beings, period.
That's heavy.
I have never seen a guy so dismissive of casualties, of lives being lost. I have never seen a guy who had a whole first session to evaluate the do's and don'ts of his presidency, the pros and cons, and instead decided to double down on every bad decision he made. We lost the trade war against China in Donald Trump's first term, and we're losing it again. Except now we're losing it even worse because we're got a global trade war against everybody, and it's also helped with this rapid rise in inflation because we're the ones paying for the increase in tariffs.
Yep.
I have never seen a president go out of his way to try to destroy every single alliance that this country has spent decades building around the world, for better or for worse. However mixed results, good, bad, it's end up being. We all know there's that saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. We get it. But we all know that there's a lot of the aspects where them soft power diplomatic things, it worked. It worked well. But not for Trump. Trump's the worst president because he is the first one who really tried to rule this country with an iron fist. He is easily the one president who is intentionally trying to break everything he is responsible for. This is the big problem. Trump isn't the creation of this. He is the symptom of the bigger problem with conservative politicians who they tell you and want you to believe so much that government doesn't work and government is ineffective. And so when they get their Republican leadership in positions of power, their job is to literally break it and go, see, look how dysfunctional government is. Donald Trump is the worst president in U.S. history because it is not a good thing that a president could stand on the debate stage, tell the entire country that I have a concept of a healthcare plan, and you receive more votes than your opponent. That level of toxicity, that's not an orbit. No, that's not an orbit around a star. That's getting sucked in the gravity well of a black hole. And our country under his watch is being sucked down the black hole. There's so many reasons: the Iran war, the Greenland, the Canada, so many reasons. But really, guys, he is just the most anti-American president we have ever had sitting in the Oval Office. Go ahead, Beans.
Yeah, I gotta go. I just did want to make this one comment though. I could have got way more into this because, excuse me, pardon me, y'all. Trump's administration's attack on non-wealthy people. Let me say that because people get triggered by the P word. Non-wealthy people, on people who, you know, for whatever reasons, don't make a whole bunch of money, 100 grand a year and all of that. I think that's problematic right now. I'm actually feeling the effects of it. So of course I'm heated. I probably wouldn't have had nothing to say about it, but you know, is that I feel it now, and so I know how other people are feeling it who have way more responsibilities than I do. Because the only person I'm looking out for right now is me. And I still feel it. So imagine some single dad or single mom or veteran or anybody else who may be struggling, and here come this man cutting off things necessary for you. Seemingly, I could be wrong, but it seems like to fund military and war campaigns. Because I heard that he asked for more money for next year already.
Well, to hide the grift that comes along with that, to hide the stealing of the money.
Yeah, he's trying to create a bunch of different slush funds.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, he's not the first to ever do that. Like
no.
Take money, like inflate the wars or anything like that to like get money, to generate money and put it to the side. But he's doing it bigger than anybody has ever done it in history.
Yeah.
He's doing it in the office that he don't care because he knows the GOP are going to kowtow to him.
Guys, how blatant.
Hey, fellas, y'all
go ahead,
man. Yeah, fellas, y'all have a great night, man. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, Baines.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah. Be safe.
Guys, the crypto rug pulls by themselves. I mean, Anton, Dame, the Trump coin, and then right after that, Melania coin. And people was like, yeah.
Makes sense. I remember when he had the watch. Okay. He had that watch that was $100,000. And it sold out, but nobody has them. Nobody has one. I said, I said, if that isn't the biggest vehicle for bribes in the history of the United States, he had $100,000 watch. Every single one of them sold out, but nobody. You go find a Trump watch.
That almost have one phone too.
Yeah.
The phone, did that actually drop?
Well, that was his kids. That was his kids. That was his Don Jr. and Eric who did that. But no, they even put it. There's no guarantee we're gonna produce the phone.
But here's the thing:
the down payment was just for the waiting list alone.
Right, just to reserve it.
Good evening, guys. How y'all doing? Y'all doing okay?
Hey, BMU, what's up, man?
Listen, man, y'all gotta stop all this fucking crying like a bunch of Democratic bitches tonight. Listen, but I love y'all. I just wanted to say that. Second of all, I wanted to say this as well. We were talking about this last night, Tyrus, and Dame and Anton. You came at the end of it, but we were talking the younger generation, man. There's so many videos out here that these young people are saying, and this year will be their age to start voting. They're telling you to your face, we're not voting for fucking Democrats or Republicans. We're not fucking voting. Fuck this shit. And one of the things, let me tell you something and I shared this last night. Antoine was on the show with us last night. My daughter said to me, she said, Daddy, there's somebody just came in. I'll bring him up for you. Big Mike, welcome to the show. But my daughter came to me and my daughter told me, she said, Dad, I want to say, and my daughter's 23 years old. She said, Daddy, I want to give you some numbers. And it was live. She sent this to me while we were live, and I shared it on the show last night. She said, tell the panel these numbers: 87, 86, 85, 85, 84, 83, 81, 80, 81, 81, 79. And she said, ask them, do those numbers mean anything to them?
That's the percentage of people
no
in age bracket that are voting.
Nope. She said those are the ages of the voting members of the House of the senior members of Congress and the Senate. She said, Daddy, how is it that you guys want us to vote for people who was probably once racist and now are performative and acting like they're not? And she said, these are Democrats and Republicans making decisions for us, and we're supposed to keep voting for people who are going to make decisions based off a mindset. She said, Daddy, these people were born in the 30s, in the 40s, and we're supposed to still be dealing with this? She said, why are we voting? She said, I agree with the young people, Dad. Why are we voting?
I'll tell her this. And it was this one brother I watched. I forgot his name. His name is Doss something. I kind of remember his name. This African brother who said, we don't, as a black people and people of color, don't have the luxury to sit back and not be a part of the system, because we don't have the safety nets that are afforded young white people. They got family wealth. They got safety nets that they can kind of fall back from the system and make sure they could be okay. As people of color, we just don't have that available. So you not voting does not help you, or it does not empower people of color to make any significant changes. We have to be a part of the systems, because the vast majority of the negative things that come out of systems, of these systems, affect people of color. So yeah, if you want to say, why are we voting for 80-year-old people? Well, it's a discipline. It's you got to start voting. You got to keep voting. You got to vote as much as you can until you have become a power base, so you can put the people that do have your best interest in the seats of power.
And okay, so I'd ask you this then.
Those people die.
Right.
Those 83s and stuff like that.
Yeah, they will die, but I have a question for you. Yeah. Out of those people, it's 14 of them who are in their 80s and born in the 30s and late 40s, right?
Right.
Yep.
My daughter's question is, Daddy, they are not getting voted out. They are going to stay there until they die. She said, how many things that we could have done as a people or been more productive as a people if we had people that look like us in there, and or people with a younger mindset instead of people like Mitch McConnell, or people like who else? I got the list over here somewhere. And then we went into this, and I'll say this
Schumer, Mitch McConnell.
And I'll say this, and I'll land the plane here. Then we also went into generational wealth last night as well, and we talked about we looked up the percentages, guys. It's disappointing, Tyrus. It's disappointing, Big Mike Dame. It's disappointing to see that 75% of white wealth came from generational wealth, came from their grandfathers, came from family wealth. Black people, they're telling us to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, and they have 100-year head start.
Okay.
Though, buddy.
We've done this. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Thankfully, this is my show. We have done this plenty of times before, and we have discussed this plenty of times before. But in the spirit, BMU, I am going to answer your, to be respectful, hypothetical kid the same way I told my hypothetical daughter. Don't vote, don't complain. Look at the statistics. Right now, the young demographic damn near equals up with the boomer generation. It's almost as if you show up to vote for somebody younger might actually win the fucking election. But if you don't show up to vote, guess who has time to vote? Boomers, a bunch of veterans. By the way, a bunch of veterans that I just went over on this panel is mostly conservative leaning. right? So guess what? If you don't want to participate, don't complain about the people who do, because when you don't vote, you are telling those old people, hey, I'm not going to participate. You make the decision for me. I got all of these things to say, but at the end of the day, I'm going to pull a Colin Kaepernick and let somebody else make the decision for me. Because, right, that a lot of young people rock with Colin Kaepernick. I'm only 38. I was actually rocking with Colin Kaepernick until he didn't decide to vote, because damn, bro, you got all of these political things to say, but your time to enforce your constitutional rights, the one time you got to actually put your voice to pen and it matters, you know where to be found? That's hypocritical. With all of that, Colin Kaepernick still told the entire country, he still told everybody he disagrees with, I'm not going to participate. You make the decision for me. So young people, if you don't want to participate, that's fine. The reason why I don't buy into the fear-mongering BMU is because young people have always been the lowest voting demographic in any country, in any generation. So BMU, you can go to the 2010s, the 2000s, the 1990s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, and so on. And guess what you're going to find? A bunch of young people talking about, I ain't going to vote. That shit's a waste of time. Almost as if you can go back anytime, and this country's been going to shit since 1776. I guarantee you the greatest generation, the generation that raised them, be like, yeah, they full of shit. They don't know what struggle is. And you know what the boomers are saying about Gen X and the millennials? They don't know what struggle is. They don't know what hard work is, and vice versa, man. And so guess what? If you don't want to vote, I mean, you can't complain. That's your right. But I also don't have to take you seriously. Why? When you didn't vote, you told me you don't take yourself seriously. That's why being
now Tyrus, let me say this to you as well, because the conversation was real good last night. I don't know why you did. I think you would probably sleep, but the conversation was really good last night, man. One of the other last things we talk about, I'll land here and let you guys continue on with the show. One of the other things is that we talked about is, we listened to people who said, "Hey, listen, these politicians are wings on the same bird." And they're the same. And one of the things that was brought up last night is that you know that in Senate, in the senators, the congressmen, the president, so on and so forth, anybody that's in power, most of these men are in the same fraternities. Most of these women are in the same sororities. Most of these people are fighting against each other and being performative in front of us and doing debates in front of us. And then they're going behind the scenes laughing, saying, chuckling, one of us going to win this bitch. But, they're cool as shit behind the scenes. Just like Barack Obama. Let me give you an example. Barack Obama said, Trump was this, Trump's an ass, Trump is this, you should vote for Kamala, da. Soon as he seen Trump, he dapped him up. They back there giggling and laughing at the funeral. I say, what the fuck is happening? 2 weeks ago, this man was just saying Trump is a piece of shit.
And guess what, BMU? No, I'm sorry, BMU. Guess what? You know who the vice president, Donald Trump is, vice president? The same guy who called him America's Hitler.
Exactly.
Stop the hypocrisy. At the end of these guys are political figures. They're going to put their foot in their mouth. And this is the system we got.
I'm talking about all of them, though. All of them.
Bro, guess what? Well, guess what? There's been plenty of these progressive or ultra right-wing people that have ran and that have continued to run that you can easily vote for. And guess what happens? They never seem to show up. As a matter of fact, you know what's funny about young people? I'm going to give you a perfect example. 2020 COVID. Everybody's in a pandemic. Everybody's kind of going through lockdown, right? You got the primaries going on. You got all these people yapping about Bernie Sanders. all the young people, quote unquote, I believe I was in that age demographic still, right? All these young people, BMU, yapping about Bernie Sanders, and Biden won the primary. And do you want to know why Biden won the primary? Because all of those same young people who did all this yapping about politics couldn't be bothered to stand in the same goddamn line as the Biden supporters did. And the same goddamn pandemic everybody else was doing. Right? But the young people, and we saw them on social media, right, Dame? They had time during the pandemic to go to a house party when we was on lockdown. They had time to do a lot of that fucking dumb shit. So again, like a lot of this and I want to be clear here, this transcends all age demographics because this is an American thing, but because BMU decided to put young people on the spot, my sights are aimed at you guys. This is all about whether or not you fucking feel like it. And every time young people of any generation want to claim that they don't fucking feel like doing something, well, congrats, you got the government you deserve. Because have you looked at our government? They don't fucking feel like doing shit either. It's almost as if government is a representation of the people.
And Tyrus, let me say that, Tyrus, you're absolutely right. And one thing I agree with you on, Tyrus, I was just thinking about, remember for the last couple of weeks, you were talking about the Epstein list and how they're redacting names and redacting a lot of this stuff. And I agree with you. I think they should unredact every name on that list. And it will show the unity between Republicans and Democrats immediately. Mm-hmm. It will show the unity. It will show unity between both of those parties immediately once you redact all those names, unredact all those names, for sure. And then,
right, but the parties are still going to exist.
But
so the answer is to clear them out.
Right,
the answer is to clear them out.
But you're right. But what I'm saying to you, it's going to shine a light. I agree with you. It's going to shine a huge light on the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and it's going to show you.
But the light's already shown. We already see both sides getting caught up in this shit. Hey, this is what I don't understand. The evidence is already there. What more do you need to see?
Unredact the names. We need to see a clear
document. You already know, but there's people on both teams, on both sides that are in the list. Right? Like, no, this is my. You know what? Let me calm down. Big Mike. First off, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
And how was your week so far?
It's been pretty good so far. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. I'm clear. All right. That's been pretty good. How about yours?
Pretty good, man. What you got for us, man?
Hey, look, I'm listening, and I said, look, let me go on, get up, man. I'm here to offer kind of a different perspective of the whole thing, and I am a veteran. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran, disabled vet. So that's
shout out to you, bro.
Too, man. So that's what brought me into listening to the conversation. I'm on everybody's shit list on my Facebook page right now. I've been going crazy on the Democrats. To be honest, do I think Trump is the worst president of all time? He's the worst president for America of all time. Trump has been the best president for Black consciousness of all time. When Trump was in office the first time, we almost got a lot of good things done. I mean, just the fight in everybody, people hitting the streets, man, like worldwide change. It happened worldwide. The Democrats got in office and we went back to sleep. What happened is the problem I'm having with the Democratic Party is when Trump is gone, what is their platform going to be? He's going to take that party down with him because right now, the only thing that they're offering to the people is, I'm not Trump. I'm not Trump. And that's going to run out soon. Trump isn't going to get a third term. But I think if they would have left him alone when he got out of office, he wouldn't be back now. So they've created the conditions for what's going on through a bunch of political miscalculations a bunch of strategical errors. Ruth Bader Ginsburg not giving Obama another pick and retiring because she knew Hillary Clinton was going to win, and she wanted the first woman. The feminism stepped in. She wanted the first woman to replace her. Only problem, Hillary Clinton didn't win. So when Ruth Bader Ginsburg got caught at 87, 88 years old, and you got to go through 4 years with this guy. I mean, you can't buy green bananas when you're 87 years old. You shouldn't stay in the job. If you cared about the work that's been done, if you cared about not destroying the work that had already been done. The Roe v. Wade, the Democrats could have codified Roe v. Wade at the beginning of the Obama administration in 2008 when he had the Senate, the House for 2 years, and a pretty liberal Supreme Court, for 2 whole years. So that could have been codified. A lot of things could have been codified for some reason or another. I don't know if they thought it was politically feasible to continue kicking the can down the road. And now we have Trump because of these series of, miscalculations. If you're going to bring this guy up on all these charges, make sure he goes down.
Yep.
Why are you going to half-ass it? You take a shot at a king, you got to hit him, bro.
It's like that movie in the series Power. You take a shot at the devil and you miss. It's like what
I'm sorry. Hold on.
I would address it too.
How easy do you guys expect it? How easy do you guys expect prosecuting a former president of the United States? You guys really think that's a quick process? Like, what the hell?
This is literally the reason why I started watching Rachel Maddow.
Yeah,
Rachel Maddow literally had me thinking it was a rap for this guy. Every single week it was new evidence. Look at the plain tale. I'm like, oh yeah, buddy gone. Russians. What? Okay, Truth, you're right. It's not going to be easy. But what Big Mike is saying is cool, but make sure you get the job done. The problem was they didn't get the job done, and to be honest with you, it made them even stronger. Teflon Don type shit.
Man, look,
can't judge them.
Y'all are.
I'm in Atlanta, and this silly ass chick down here that marched the man down and got him a mug shot and all of that, and then she had all this shit going on that she had going on. Utter incompetence, bro. Utter incompetence. If you're gonna do the job, get the damn job done. They're the reason Trump is back.
So I just hold on, Dame. Hold on, because I have to just really disagree. There are some individual points that are okay, but overall, I disagree because you guys are taking a lot of agency away from the fact that our fellow countrymen voted for a guy in 2024 who was held liable for sexual assault.
He should have been.
The Democratic Party did not force the American people to vote for a sexual predator.
Hey, go back to the 2020. Go back to 2020.
As a matter of fact, Big Mike, I could go back to 2022 when Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine and America kept their word on a contract we made under the Democrats.
But let's not jump. You said something about a sexual deviant, assault guy. Joe Biden was accused of the R word during the 2020.
But he wasn't convicted of. He wasn't convicted. He wasn't convicted.
You said no, Big Mike. Facts or not? Was Joe Biden found liable in court for sexual assault?
No.
Yes or no?
Can I finish the thought?
What did he go to criminal court for sexual assault?
Okay, why wasn't he convicted? You can go to criminal court for anything. You could be accused.
Why wasn't who convicted?
The statute of limitations for E.J. Carroll was gone, so she could only do civil because New York State changed the law. That's the same law that Cassie sued Diddy on to extend the financial. You can sue somebody for sexual assault. Financially, you couldn't do.
And the Democratic Party can't just magically change laws in whatever states they want.
So that's why he was civilly.
I understand all of this. I understand all of everything of what you guys are saying. My thing is this: why wasn't the job done?
And I'll tell you why. This is what it was. Historically, the way politics will run, there were certain things called historical norms where you would say, there's no way our political landscape has changed that much, so the person who's done this egregious stuff can be elected. Richard Nixon resigned the office of the presidency. Why? Because he bugged a room and lied about it. So, and even Republicans were outraged at that, to where they wouldn't allow him to be the next candidate for president. And he was really popular with Republicans at that time, because there were some standards that were set that people thought, okay, there's no way people are going to do that, going to be that egregious. Like you said, you brought up Roe v. Wade. The reason why it wasn't codified, because it was supposed to be established precedent. Every other Supreme Court's justices and what have you, they said that's established law, we're not going to touch it, and it wasn't necessary at the time. And only when this person comes into office and said, hey, it's a way for me to get the evangelicals on my side to vote for me, because I got all this other egregious stuff that shows I'm not a Christian. So I need to do something so the Christians get something by voting for me. That's the reason why he brought that up, because that's why nobody else brought up Roe v. Wade.
Yeah. Big Mike, Roe v. Wade, to strengthen Dame's point, that was established law on both sides of the aisle. Nobody touched it.
There are many Republicans.
Nobody touched it.
Nobody.
There was some.
But what you understand is this: nobody touched it, but there could still be somebody that brings a case that makes it to the Supreme Court that overturns it. So it doesn't.
But
matter.
Nobody would have. Nobody
did. Somebody did.
Here's the thing that people forget. Hold on.
That's what I'm saying. It's nobody's guarding the store, man. Nobody's watching the store in the Democratic Party right now.
Here's the thing.
I guess you're go ahead, Anton. Go ahead.
I'm not a Republican, by the way. So
here's the other thing people forget that 47 did, or 47 got when he was 45. As soon as he walked in to the Oval Office, there was an envelope. There had to be an envelope waiting for him on the Resolute desk. It was from the Heritage Foundation. And it was a list of judges they wanted on the Supreme Court. Three of the individuals that are currently on the court right now, their names were on that list.
Right.
That's what he did to get the ball rolling.
Right.
Neil Gorsuch, who filled the spot after Justice Antonin Scalia died, the same slot that President Obama tried to fill with Merrick Garland, but the GOP were like,
Mitch McConnell blocked.
McConnell said, no, that needs to be decided.
Let the people decide.
And last I checked, when Antonin Scalia passed away, that was March of 2016.
How quick was that?
Where Barack Obama was still the incumbent.
For a strategic standpoint, though, the 88-year-old Ruth Bader Ginsburg should have retired.
I'm not saying, I get what you're saying there, Big Mike.
Yeah.
The problem also was they fast-tracked Amy Coney Barrett 45 days before the election.
And Big Mike, see, this is the thing, bro. You see how you like to pick timelines? Well, then now I could pick a timeline. No, I'm saying, you say where you're trying to be hyper-focused on Ginsburg, but then now we picked a timeline that goes to them screwing over the Democrats, and you're like, oh, well, we're talking about this other one. Like, come on, dog.
I haven't responded to it. Did I even respond to what he said?
All right, continue.
Go ahead, man.
Never responded. So, I mean, you start talking. Yeah, I'm just saying this. What I'm saying is, why were they able to do all of that stuff so easily without any pushback? Would they be able to do that if the Democratic Party was strong?
Because the guardrails wasn't in place to do that, because historically nobody was that egregious, and they have a lot of the reasons he's getting away to stuff because nothing was put in. That's why they don't know whether or not a president can pardon himself, because they thought no president would be so egregious to do something that they would need to pardon himself. There's a lot. That's like saying I can't think of everything. Like if you have children, you can't say I'm gonna tell you everything you can't do as a kid to make sure you don't do nothing. But there's certain things you just don't think they're gonna do because it's like, that's why it's like now they're taking a closer look at it and saying, okay, we need to put more guardrails, because if we get another motherfucker in there like Trump, shit could go crazy. Now the laws are going to change.
Big Mike, there's another political example, Big Mike, that you've heard of plenty of times. The filibuster. Both parties typically stay away from it because they consider that the nuclear option. And they know they don't want to make that precedent because, well, if I start using the filibuster, if the other party becomes in power, they're going to use the filibuster.
Right.
Right? You see, there's that honor code that goes back and forth that got broken with this man, Donald Trump.
Okay. All right, you just said something. Honor code. So you're insinuating that both parties are on the same side.
Look, there's always going to be overlap. We're American, Big Mike. We're Americans. There's always going to be some overlap.
Politics is war without bloodshed.
No.
So
we're Americans. There's always going to be overlap.
Yeah, and it historically that wasn't the case.
Tell me that there's that much trust between these two opposite parties. You're making the point. They just like
it was respect. It wasn't. Sorry, go ahead, brother.
People are in the same. They when they're done. Look at how George Bush and Michelle Obama play with each other when they're in public. You ever notice that?
Yeah, they like.
You want them to slap each other?
No, they actually cousins. They don't need to slap each other. They're cousins by marriage. Yeah. So real talk. So what BMU was saying was kind of true. All I'm saying is this: I'm not here to. I guess I'm not really here to attack the party, man. I'm here to kind of get people to start looking at obvious things that's going on. And it's some shortcomings, bro. It's a lot of shortcomings.
Big Mike. You better attack the party. Anton will tell you, we slap the party around up here all the time, just not in defense of the Republicans.
Exactly.
No.
You know what I mean?
At this point in time, soon as you attack the party, you are a Republican. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but Big Mike, you see, that's why none of us responded when you was like, "Oh, I'm not a Republican." We never assumed you were.
Right. So
like Big Mike, just if you rock with us long enough, Big Mike, you're gonna learn that we don't do echo chambers. I'm gonna let you rock out, but just so you know, we actually encourage everybody to come up here, bro. We we happen to be Democrats, but we actually prefer a lot of people come up here and say shit. Go ahead.
We have different views. Like I think Taruz is a liberal. I am not a liberal. Other set imagination.
Yeah. Let's be fair. I'm the farthest left. Probably you're a counter.
If I was considered a Democrat, I'd be a blue dog Democrat from Alabama. So I'm
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Very conservative.
Yeah.
Have all this crazy shit going on they got going through. I mean, I'm not really for it. The messaging in the Democratic Party is off. The messaging is all the way off. Anytime you got, Kamala Harris bringing out Megan Thee Stallion and you're trying to get educated black people to vote for you, you fucked up, bro. Excuse my friend.
I mean, I think that's the hypocrisy of it. It's just like, so Donald Trump can bring out Kid Rock and Ted Nugent, and Kid Rock had a lyric talking about how he likes underage girls, and it's acceptable.
Do you realize the least educated people in this country?
And the funny thing is, Meg Thee Stallion has a college degree.
No, but hey, listen to what he's saying. He's not saying whether it's right or wrong. He's saying you're going after a certain demographic. This ain't the person you choose if you're going after that certain demographic, because that certain demographic is actually embarrassed by you thinking that this person is representing them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just don't buy that. Everybody think that every black person who
bro,
is
what they call uppity, what you used to call uppity back in the day. Educated black people see their daughter when they see Megan Thee Stallion. They want to represent what they would want their daughter to be in front of a worldwide. Listen what I'm saying.
Poor people see Megan Thee Stallion and want their daughter to be that because she has money.
Listen to what I'm saying. When you see a political candidate bring out entertainment or bring out somebody to promote their messaging, black educated people want to see somebody like their daughter come out, is what I'm saying. They don't want to see Megan Thee Stallion come out. They want to see somebody like their daughter who's in pharmacy school or doctorate, you know what I'm saying, medical school right now to come out. They don't want to see Megan Thee Stallion.
Big Mike, or they want to see somebody like at least Alicia Keys, somebody who carries themselves like that. If it's going to be a celebrity, because the presidents are going to bring out celebrities.
They're going to bring out celebrities for entertainment. They're not going to necessarily bring out celebrities for messaging.
Right, but to your point, you would rather have Alicia Keys out there than a Meg Thee Stallion, right?
And
Meg Thee Stallion was a messenger. Cardi B was a messenger.
What's called it?
They were picked up to try to get a certain demographic.
Look, all I'm saying is, but is there something wrong with trying to get that demographic if that demographic can vote?
No, nothing wrong with that.
So I'm saying, people be like, oh, they brought out Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion has what 20 million people followers on social media.
Yeah,
you know, she has at the time probably the poppinest song on the radio. I mean, like,
so Dame, I'm actually gonna hold on, guys. I'm going to. Oh God, I can't. Yeah, I have to consider
because of racism and chauvinism, not because.
So Dame, here's where there's some credence, right? Think about the kind of people who do take their vote seriously. They want their daughters to look at a Michelle Obama, right? They're going to want to look at somebody's educated, right? And so when you look at our numbers, Dame, there's clearly a way to go about it, because they went after that targeted demographic, and our demographic that already is the lowest demographic to vote didn't show up to vote. And then on top of that, not only did they not show up to vote, but statistically, you had the drop in black men that's typically in about the low 90s to, I believe, 77%. Right. And you can't discount the fact that there's plenty of black men who saw that and went, I can't vote for that.
I'm
not saying I agree. I'm just saying that's a perspective. You know what I mean?
You're right. There is a let me finish. There's a percentage of black men.
Big Mike, was that accurate, by the way? Was that?
There is a percentage of black women who probably went exactly that, but I'm willing to bet there's either an equal or greater percentage of black men who just said, I ain't voting for no woman. And I got issues with black women to begin with, and I damn sure ain't trying to follow behind no black woman. That I think was probably more prevalent than seeing Meg Thee Stallion up there or her representing a negative image of young black women. I think it was sexism and chauvinism that kept a lot of these brothers from voting for Kamala Harris.
Wow. Wait a minute, hold on. First of all, Dame, you from
Tommy, jump in.
Yeah, we from the same place.
So she got a background there.
Right.
Let's not erase that. Okay, so that's part of it too. But number two is I had conversations with my sister, who is pretty conservative as a black woman, as far as like she ain't out there titties out, no offense, but the Megan Thee Stallion type of chick.
Right.
She was almost offended by them having, and mind you, she don't got a problem with Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B. But are you serious? And I think what happened was they tried to over Trump. And it's like you're not even going after the same people. he can come out here with your Hulk Hogan's, with your Kid Rocks, with your who we all look at and we know what their issues is. The problem is the issues we have with them, his voter base don't have that issue. So he can bring them out and it's not going to be like a backlash, yada, yada, yada. But you almost offend us when you bring out a Cardi B and you bring out a Meg Thee Stallion, because it's like, it's almost like you playing with our intelligence. But I think that the biggest part where the Democrats messed up is hitching their wagons to the alphabets. Like, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't support it. What I'm saying is you pretty much let them run your party. Like every single, like most of the major issues they running on was attached to that. And the only reason why I say the problem with that was, I'm saying strategically, it's because it's such a small percentage of our population. And so if you talk to even most people on the hell, if you talk to some of the people in the alphabet community, they don't agree with some of this wild shit they was coming out with. Even some of them was like, yeah, that's a little bit too far. You had politicians pushing the shit.
You know what it was also with the Pride community? Because I got family in the Pride community. I got family in the Pride community. A lot of the older members of the Pride community, they just wanted to go about their business and live their life. They just want to just go about their business, live their life, so on and so forth. Yeah. It was the younger ones, the younger members of the Pride community. And I remember JT mentioned this also. They're the ones that wanted to be fluid. They were the ones that wanted to push the boundaries. They were the ones that wanted to rewrite what it meant to be by gender and felt like you're going to have to accept it.
But Antoine, I don't even think that's a majority of that's my problem. Is the community is already small.
Yeah.
Within that community, I don't think the majority of that community even thinks like that. Bro, I've heard gay people get up there and try to explain the pronouns and they even get confused.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to say. It was and the one thing I remember my sister told me, we had gays and lesbians that had issues with transgenders.
What? I just got to say something. Let me just say something, Tom. First, I want to address I know about the knowing Kamala Harris is repping it in the Bay. I do. I get it. Yeah. All I'm saying is if that is a consideration on whether or not you vote for it, you're thinking short-sighted. You're thinking locally where she is going for a national platform. It's just like, would I vote for again for like AG? Probably not, maybe. I don't know. But it's just like if it's you only got two people to choose from. And if you are going to vote and say, okay, how much damage can the other guy do? And we're seeing it now. If that would she have done, would we be in the same position as in a better position or a worse position? Regardless of what she did in the Bay, that's personal. Sometimes you can't bring emotions into the politics. I learned that a long time ago. You got to bring logic. Who logically would put you as a person in the Black community in a better situation, or just the United States? If you want to just even make it bigger than that, the United States as a whole in a better economic position, or a position worldwide, geopolitical position. That's where I want Black people to get there. I don't want to think, oh well, she had these sentences, she was harsh, so she had hard sentences, and my boy got blah blah blah. I feel for your boy, but what's going to happen to your boy's boy and your grandparents and what happens when they cut Medicaid and then your boy's grandma can't pay for insulin and she got to decide whether or not she's going to pay for rent or pay for insulin and she gets sick. You know, those are the things we got to think bigger than I don't like her because of this, but who is the better for the country? That's how people to start thinking.
Dang, you said financially, right? Hold on. You said financially.
Yep.
Wasn't doing good with Biden, and she was number 2 to him.
Yeah, we were doing way better.
Dang. No, if you say we were doing better, I'm with you. Dang, I went to Costco under Biden. I spent $800. I had 2 baskets.
Did it ever trend back upward under Biden?
I'll ask you a question.
I know Biden caught it in a decline. But did it ever trend upward under Biden?
And that's I'm not even blaming Biden all the way. I'm saying, listen, if you sit in that chair, you get the blame. That's the game. So what I'm telling you is, because me, I can look at it and go, okay, this ain't 100% Biden. This is. What I'm saying is that your average voter, I just spent $800 at Costco and got 2 baskets. Who's the president right now? Oh, that guy. Okay, I don't want to go through this anymore. So the biggest problem I think Kamala had was she ran after being under this guy. And under this guy, listen, was it better than now, Dane? Yes. Was it good? No, it wasn't.
But the thing is,
you didn't run.
The trajectory was headed down, like black unemployment. I think when Trump left office the first time, it was at like 5.8, and then Biden got down to like 4.3. So it was on a trajectory down. But now, because the economy is going back up again, it's spiking up again. All I'm saying is, if things are getting better, the smart move is to vote for somebody who's going to continue the trajectory of things getting better, not take the chance that somebody who when they were in, things got worse. It's going to make it better for you.
And that's the biggest problem, guys, is especially with Trump specifically. And I really got to harp on this point. We all up here, clearly all of us 5, we should know what good leadership looks like.
Yeah,
we also know what leadership looks like.
Wait.
All right. And we know that a lot of the times you're not going to tell a good quality or sometimes the quality of your leaders got to be valued when things are going to shit. And the country, let's be clear, everybody, the American people, we got to get out of jail free card because look, everybody just hated Hillary. Okay, whatever. Right? The COVID shit, the global trade war that we lost, all this shit. Like, guys, when it was time to be presidential, he showed you the exact opposite.
I agree.
There was absolutely no way people could justify. Again, if you want to make the argument of people staying home, at this point, I can't argue with it. But for the people that voted for Trump, still knowing all of this, come on.
Well, look, I'm not making excuses for the dude to get voted for. What I'm telling you is, I lived in America during the Biden thing. It didn't feel good. And I'm not right or left. I'm telling you, I lived during those years. It did not feel good. And I'm not going to sit up here just because I don't like Trump and lie and act like, oh, no, it was rope. It wasn't. It was a effing struggle, dog. And just to push a point to go against Trump, I'm not going to sit here and lie about what happened during those 4 years. My point is, if it wasn't his fault, he should have did a better job in messaging, explaining why this is going on and why it's not his fault. Because to the average dog, we live in a state. Let me tell you how smart voters are. We live in a state, California, where they voted to tax their own gas a second time.
Yes.
That's how smart these MFers are that vote. So again, you got to break this shit down.
California had low voter turnout.
So what I'm saying is, if your economy is trash and it's not your fault, it should have been your message for 4 years. Hey, I'm trying to fix this because he did this, this, and this. Look, he did this. That's why I'm trying to fix this. I'm trying to push this. They didn't do that. So when you're looking at the average voter, they're just going, damn, brother, I just went to Costco and spent $800 and got 2 baskets. This nigga the president? Yeah, we can't handle more of that. And who's running? The person that was right under him.
Okay.
That's the thing that is the one critical flaw that the Democrats have had since I was old enough to pay attention to is messaging. They have either been completely flat with their messaging or have gotten worse in cases.
But also, here's the one thing that people forget. Trump was campaigning to get back into office the minute he lost in 2020.
Absolutely.
He went on, he had by far the longest campaign you can think of.
I remember he's doing rallies through the whole president, through Biden.
Literally, that's what he did. Despite how everything that happened in Georgia with Brad Raffensperger, the nonsense that happened at the Capitol, which should have disqualified him, but that's a different argument. He was literally campaigning to go back the minute Biden took office. And what hurt Kamala Harris also was not just the fact that she was the number 2 behind Biden. She only had 100 days to try to get things going.
Okay.
Good point. This. If they knew, somebody knew that Biden wasn't going to run for a second term, they should have did that. They should have made that announcement officially after the midterms.
No, he wanted to run.
Yeah, he was going to run. The debate threw him off. The debate made it to where he was unelectable. He was not electable after that debate.
That debate should have did also.
He was only going to be 4 years because he was old. He said it when he took office. He did.
I'm not mad about that.
Transition president. Did he not?
That should have been that needs to be an indicator to all these damn politicians right now, and for a lot of people in this country to push for. It's time to put an age requirement. You can't be in public office once you turn a certain age. That needs to be pushed now by a lot of people.
People that got to push it is the age that you're talking about.
But I want to address something that you said, Tommy, about the thing about you made a perfect point where it was like people who went to Costco and was like, yeah, you know, it's better, but it still ain't that great, like as far as the economy. But
no, I'm saying it's better. It was better then than it is now.
No, that's what I'm saying. No. What I'm saying, but people going to Costco, like you said, they don't feel it as much as enough to change their mind and make them think to know that the economy is really changing. It's too slow. What happened is you get people like Trump and people like who say there's a quick way to do it. There's a quick way to get the economy back. He's just not going to do it. We know the quick way. Like, you know, I could have the economy. I could have your gas bill down by 50% day one. I could have your light bills. I could have your food bills down by 50% day one. And he was like, man, this dude ain't like Biden ain't saying that. And yes, we want it day one. So he set the expectation that Biden is not able to do what Trump is doing, has said that it's easy to do. But now when Trump gets elected, he was like, well, you know, I wasn't serious about that happening in day one. You know, it takes time and whatever. But he set a standard where people who really don't understand how the economy works were fooled to think that there was a quick way to do it, and he was slow walking it for some reason.
I will say, I go to Costco now, and it ain't changed. So
exactly.
No, day one, eggs are going to drop and gas is going to and like
that's what it is. And that's why I think, especially in urban communities, there needs to be some kind of civics or some political science courses taught in high school, so we can get an idea.
This is an American thing. I'm gonna
tell you why it's not urban. No, let me tell you why I said urban is because in the middle class, they talk about it with their kids around the dinner table. We don't do that in what's called when you're poor. You poor. I don't know nobody in the Bay or in Oakland who grew up talking about politics around their table. And I'm 50 years old.
I agree with you on that. Yeah,
I'm not that.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, the average middle class white people are not like, and this is why I try to push back on that, because we have this projection in our head that this is what's going on. I was in the military with them. Them niggas wasn't talking politics like that.
I'm talking. Me and you were both in the military with the broke white people.
no, middle class too. What I'm saying is, I think the average American, period, is just not. Again, remember California. Most of the people that voted wasn't brokies. It won by a good amount, and they voted to tax the gas again. Most of these people eating shit. Most of these people got work. They got kids. So when that little pamphlet comes in the mail, they putting that shit on the table or throwing it away, and they keeping about. They not reading this
and
shit.
That's why I was saying maybe it should be taught in the school so they have an idea that this is a part of the American experience, especially when they're voting. It should be
Dame,
a part.
unfortunately, Dame, though, unfortunately, this is America, and even with the school thing, Dame, it's right now we're talking about people who are old enough to vote, and really, it is a messaging thing, man. It has to, and it sucks because I don't want to be y'all know me. I'm not loyal to the Democratic Party. They just happen to overlap with my values way more than the Republican Party.
Exactly.
I don't want to come up here and cheerlead for that fucking party. Yeah. You see what I mean? And then that's the problem, Dame. The people who would probably be good at their messaging don't want to fucking do that shit because it's unethical. Right? All the people that are really good at messaging, you see how good the Republicans are at winning their elections.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, Dame, I saying about teaching civics. Here's the thing. I learned civics in high school, but I didn't go to public school. That's the problem. Also, I learned how the electoral college worked in high school. I think my junior year in high school on how the system works. The problem is the powers that be don't want people to know how the system works.
I get it. I understand.
Well, and then, oh my God, guys, don't be a black person who lives in an urban city and then you end up voting for the most corrupt Democratic black mayor in in the running.
You sound like
in U.S. history.
Y'all remember Fahrenheit 9/11?
Yeah.
He went to Congress and said, and the dude said, "Hold on, you don't think we really read these bills, do you?"
Exactly.
The niggas whose job it is don't even read the bills, and you think we gonna be sitting at home reading this shit?
Look, I feel like the difference is the reason it's like is they don't need to read it because they already got the job. That's why. The people who are
they're paid to care. I'm
at home. Have to.
But listen, I'm at home working 12 hours. Then got to come home and do it with my kids, and then wake up and do it all over again. And then I'm gonna throw something on top of that and read this fucking book that they just sent me with all this shit that I half-ass understand.
That's why I said do it in school. I'm not saying dude don't know how to pay.
No, Dame. Put it like this, Dame. You elected me to be your representative. So my $172,000 salary includes reading the bills that I have to vote yay or nay on. And so if I get in front of television, Dame, and then I get asked about a bill and I tell you, Dame, as your elected official, I'm gonna be, I didn't read the bill yet, but you voted on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't you think there should be some sort of mechanism to be like, oh, yo, get this dude out. He's not doing his job.
The vote should be a multiple choice question.
That is literally the bare minimum of your job is to read the fucking bills.
Every time you go to vote, it should be a multiple choice scan. To show you actually read it.
I'm saying what the school is, and then you graduate, and then life happens. So what I'm saying is, yeah, you went through it in school, cool. But now I'm 30. I got 3 kids. I got to work and I'm barely making it. I'm not coming home sitting down reading this fucking pamphlet. I'm trying to escape life. That's why they watching so much TV, so much social media. So what I'm saying, I'm just being more realistic about what they're doing when they get home. Half these people don't read books. They're not sitting down reading a pamphlet about who's going to be the next judge in my sector. Like, it's just not happening.
I hear you on that. And I agree with that. I agree with that. Like I voted, and I was just like, my wife did all the work, and she was like, yeah, these are the people who align with what we rock with. I'm like, all right, baby, cool. Yeah. You know, all I'm saying is just like there's certain things that
did the work.
A lot of there's certain
people, Like
they're like, who the Democrat, who the Republican? Yeah,
exactly, 100%. Yeah.
All I'm saying is just like I think it's just like we are probably the most uneducated when it comes to how the political system works, because we feel like the decisions have already been made for us. So why should we be that invested in it? Like I hear that.
Work.
Well, part of knowing how it works, like for me, it's almost no point in me for voting for who's president. The Democrats are going to win my state.
Yeah,
now,
and that's a lot of people saying
the battleground state. So his vote actually matters. Me, I could vote for an alien. The Democrats.
But only thing that I think like in states like that are historically like a solid blue state. It's like Texas, that's a solid red state. Yeah, then you just talking about local stuff.
Well,
like you're just trying to vote locally to try to
listen, my home state's a solid blue state as well. We haven't
those I get it.
My home state hasn't gone red since 1988.
Was that Georgia?
Nope.
Where's that?
New Jersey.
Okay.
I think California might be.
But don't they got a Democratic governor?
Yeah, we do now. Mikey Sherrill, she was a former congresswoman.
Yeah. And they had
but here's the ironic
Remember, they had that Republican governor, Chris Christie, though.
Yeah.
Oh, big Chris Christie.
And in the presidential election, they were still going blue.
Yeah. But here's the wild thing most people don't realize. We can have a Republican governor and Democratic senators, and it's not that, and no one will bat an eyelash.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Look, I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but I gotta get to sleep.
Right? Yeah, me too, man. I'm in Texas. It's almost
midnight. So you guys can't be doing this to me like this, man. Hey, so let's. What's up?
No, I was going to Tommy. No, Tommy, I get what you're saying about how hard it is to try for people to know this stuff or anything. The system is not that hard, but like I said, the powers that be make sure that no one knows how it works.
Well, no, Antoine, I'm not making the case like I'll do it. What I'm saying is the average person just won't. They got so much shit going on in life that, again, like I said, they send that book in the mail every voting season. People ain't sitting down reading that motherfucker. I'm just being solid with you.
No,
they want somebody to put it together for them, or they want people to put it together.
I remember I was on, I think I was on some social media, right? And I had a list. I had read through the book, and I had a list of all the stuff. And they straight up asked me, "Oh yeah, you should post that so we know who to vote for." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like that's what again. What do you expect when the people who are paid to do it ain't even doing it?
That's the sad part. That's the sad part even more, because like they should have had an age requirement for politicians a long time ago. Why? You had Richard Byrd, who was I believe the senator from West Virginia, died at the age of 93 while in office. You had Thurman, who was
they ain't voting in their own interest, dog. The people that would have to push that is the age that would be kicking them out.
Here's the thing that most people didn't realize. Check this out. And this is what I love about doing research. People didn't realize there was a time they were going to do this. Guess what? They wanted to actually push the age restriction requirement. Guess when? 1994. Guess who the politician was that was going to push the agenda?
Who was that?
Clinton?
Nope. Newt Gingrich, congressman from Georgia, who ended up becoming the Speaker of the House. The contract with America.
How old was he at the time?
He was a congressman.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah,
but I'm
gonna let y'all go too. I gotta jump off. I'll let you.
Be safe, bro.
Hey, hold on, Dave. You got any final thoughts? Because we're wrapping it up.
I mean, it's like, you know, the prompt was is he the worst president? He's worst president in modern term because he does something no president has ever done. He doesn't let the Constitution be the foundation of his presidency. whether it's his interpretation. That's the difference between Republicans and Democrat. Wholeheartedly is their interpretation of the Constitution. He lets self-interest as opposed to the Constitution dictate the moves he makes in his presidency. And I think that's detrimental to the whole experiment that's the United States.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, thanks for rocking with us tonight, man. It was really
Good
fun.
to see you.
You have a good night.
You too, brother.
Hey, James, be safe.
Tommy, what you got for us, bro?
This is a little off subject. I was gonna ask you, have you heard about these? It's called Calm Ego.
What is that?
It's this device that helps you with PTSD and anxiety. I'm about to go to the I got an appointment on the 15th to go to the VA. And
whoa, spell that.
CALMIGO. 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 Calmigo.
Okay.
Yeah, you go check that out. I'm about to go. It's supposed to be like natural, whatever, but it's supposed to help a lot with that. And you know, I get like a lot of social anxiety, so it's supposed to help you with that. But yeah, I think hands down the worst president for a lot of things. We have a UFC arena outside of the fucking White House right now. I think you have to have a little bit of narcissist in you to become president. I don't think we've ever seen it to this level. Trying to put his face on a bill, added his name to the Kennedy Center. That thank God they just kicked that shit off. I wouldn't be surprised if before he left he tried to get a fucking statue of him put up. The plaques on the wall in the White House dissing the prior presidents. The fact that he can't get over the prior presidents and always got their name in his mouth. The message that he sent out on Easter Sunday to Iran, like bro, the list just and the only thing I keep saying to my Trumpers or my people on the right on my Facebook is, when are y'all gonna call this shit out, bro? Like, rest in peace to my guy Steve. This guy I used to work with, was one of my bosses, and he was a first term Trumper. And unfortunately, he passed during COVID, so he didn't get to see the second one. But I know he'd be like, what the fuck? Because me and him used to talk during the first term, and he was like, man, I voted for him, and I really wish he would just shut the fuck up. He's like, I like some of the stuff he's doing and stuff, but bro, why are you on Twitter? You're a president. Like, what is going on here? And I tell people all the time, it's so insane that our president writing the stuff that he writes on Twitter don't even make news no more. It's just like, huh? The president just said that. Mind you, this is the same country that was attacking Barack Obama for wearing a tan suit. Yep. We now have a sitting president that's hourly cursing during media appearances. Like, it's embarrassing. It's ridiculous. And like I keep saying on my Facebook, I feel like we're living in a cartoon right now. Bro, this shit is just insanity. You know, and mind you, I'm a sailor, truck driver. I'm from the hood. I'm all for cursing. But we always knew it was a time and a place. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the lack of couth, the lack of integrity. Bro, it's
overwhelming.
Just, bro, like, yeah, because like the list doesn't stop. And for me, like I said, I stopped watching certain channels because during his first presidency, they were lying on him. And my thing was, you don't have to lie. Just report what he's doing. It's bad enough. But CNN would lie. MSNBC would lie. I stopped watching them because I'm like, bro, that's a flat out lie. I know it. I watched it. So it's not even a situation where I'm not impartial. I'm just believing what I see, and what I see is just, bro, like, what is going on? So yeah, the title of the show I agree with, man. Just for me, the worst if I've ever seen. Period.
Yeah, man. Hey, Tommy, thanks for rocking with us tonight, man.
Sure,
get some sleep, man. I know it. Wait, it's only you. What, 3 or 4 hours behind?
It's
9.
Okay. Hey, man. But great seeing you, bro.
You too, Antoine.
All right, try to be safe, bro.
Whew. Anton, what you got for us, man?
Like I said, makes James Buchanan look like a choir boy. This is the same person, arrogant, cocky, acts like the rules don't apply to him, but the rules have to apply to everyone else. He likes to make himself the exception. He thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread, and everybody else is the worst ever. He loves to play with words, and he's always done that even before he was elected president. His problem is, I feel like he's trying to establish something that he hopes that stands the test of time. And he feels like this is his opportunity to do that. And he's hoping that all these other politicians in the GOP will kowtow to him and making sure that it happens. They want to name an airport after him. They want to name an aircraft carrier after him. They want to put his likeness on U.S. currency. They're putting his signature on U.S. currency. They're trying to do all these accolades like he's the best thing since sliced bread, like he's the son of God. And it's pathetic that those who call themselves Christians, the ones who have the morals and the family values, are hitching their horse on this golden calf. And that's the thing that bothers me a lot. You use your faith as a weapon. You try to make it seem like, oh, he's not doing anything. That's bullshit. Because everything he's doing is unchristian-like. Everything you're doing is unchristian-like. But yet you want to call people out for whatever reason because they don't worship God like you. I'm just counting down the days until we wake up from this nightmare. My thing is, and I said this in the back chat to BMU, if his daughter wants to send a message saying that she doesn't want to vote who's on the ballot, use a write-in. Because there are politicians and there are individuals who are out here that we don't know about, that live in our respective communities, who could do a much better job than the people that we currently see in either party, and write their names in. And people don't realize sometimes if you get enough people to write those in that individual's names in, you'd be surprised that maybe he or she might win the position. The best way I can tell people is do your due diligence. Yes, they should teach civics in school. But like I said, I learned this stuff in high school my junior year. And yes, I did go to private school, but I did learn how this stuff works. And people are surprised. And when I showed people how the electoral college work, they were so shocked, saying, is that it? Yes, is that it? Because certain individuals, the powers that be, are making sure that the simplest things that people need to know how things work, they don't know how it works. And it goes back to what Hugo Weaving said in the movie V for Vendetta. The government, the people shouldn't fear the government should fear the people. And people need to start understanding how things work. And the best way I tell people, if you really don't have an idea how things work, get yourself a copy of this. And for those who don't know what this is, it's a copy.
You got to put it up closer. Yeah.
I think it's because of the background.
Yeah.
It's a copy of the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence. And the funny thing is, people always talk about, oh, Hollywood loves these liberals. Because funny thing about it, Hollywood at times will teach you something and you don't even realize it. And the perfect example I will say is this. And I actually posted this in Big Bossman's show when he was on. And it was a scene from the movie National Treasure. The scene with Nicolas Cage and Justin Bartha at the National Archives. They just came from Diane Kruger's office. They're in the main hall looking at the Declaration. Nicolas Cage turns to Justin Bartha, says, of all these years of searching, I'm 3 feet away. And he recites something. And and I intentionally highlighted it when it came to the Declaration, and I intentionally highlighted it. Hold on, I'll do a little bit better. Let me turn off my background so you can see it. This is what I was talking about. Got this
Gotcha.
in the archives. This is the line I'm talking about. And this
Go ahead and read it real quick.
Yeah. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing inadvertently the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. And Nicolas Cage was right. People don't talk this way anymore. And when I heard that line, I said, wow, that sounds powerful. But when I got my copy and I read this myself, I teared up. Because as much as we don't like the founding fathers because they were slave owners, the founding fathers were right. People don't talk this way anymore. Those who have the right have the responsibility. And I don't give a rat's ass if you're a Democrat. I don't give a rat's ass that Epstein was a Democrat. The fact is what he did was wrong, plain and simple. Plain and simple, Tony Nas, all right? People need to understand how the system works. People need to understand how the blueprint, the foundation of how things work. The problem with, and the one thing I learned, and I'll land my plane on this, I learned this during my time in the Army. I remember this, what I learned from a Secret Service agent. The office of the presidency is not a person. It's an institution. It's an institution that they take serious and make sure that it must be maintained. And he said this back in 2001. When you have someone in that position who feels that they're bigger than the office of the presidency, that is where you start having problems. And the problem with Donald John Trump, he acts like he is beyond the Constitution, that this doesn't apply to him. And that's always been his problem because he's never been held accountable for his actions. And when you have someone that's never been held accountable in their 20s and their 30s, they're still going to feel the same way when they turn 8, when they're 80. And that's the problem. And that's all I got to say. And those are some words we're thinking about.
All right, hell yeah. Hey, thanks for always rocking with me, Anton, man. I appreciate it. You have a great night, dog. Guys, it is, what time? It is 12:47. Let's see. Yeah. Anton had made a point that he had said something, or the Constitution, he had brought up a good point, and I really liked it. And I really liked that he had the copy of the Constitution, because, guys, don't get played by some of these gotcha questions that some people play when it comes to, oh, well, do you know what every constitutional amendment is? You don't have to. Okay? You're not a book. You just got to have it ready. You need to be well read through it. You got to have a good understanding of what the Constitution is. You don't need to have it memorized. Okay? To the broader thing, though, guys, y'all know Trump's the worst. I mean, it's too easy. Guys, nobody takes our president serious. I know y'all been paying attention this week. Homeboy ceasefire deal just went to shit. He's talking about they close to the deal. You know what? Close to the deal. We trading airstrikes with Iran right now. That ceasefire with the shit. Ain't no peace deal anytime soon. Israel won't stop bombing Lebanon. Nobody takes the president seriously. Guys, again, I have said it before and I'll say it repeatedly because it's the truth. So far, the most trustworthy group in this, the most trustworthy player in this whole scenario is fucking Pakistan. Pakistan trying to negotiate peace between the countries. This is the reality of the world we live in, led by, well, in part by our president of the United States, Donald Trump. Guys, it's just bad right now. I really don't know what else to say except y'all know I try to come up with sound reasoning, logics, and every logical like reasoning, whatever. I can't even speak right now because I'm just gonna tell you my crackpot theory because I don't have any other answers, guys. I really think for whatever reason we got warped into a different timeline ever since Harabe got killed in 2016. It has been shit ever since. I can't explain it. Okay, I've tried looking at everything. I tried like researching little rabbit holes into cults and religious organizations and terrorist organizations all around the world. I've looked at, tried to study history or learn my history. It is just, at the end of the day, man, I got nothing else except things were going just fine until that gorilla got killed, bro. And ever since then, it was just, no. But that being said, we still got to fight the good fight. We still social creatures. We still about survival, which means we still about levels above survival, which is social contracts, following the rule of law, following the spirit of the law, just being respectful to one another. I just got to ask my fellow Americans this, man. Are we actually going to take the idea that, or the saying that no man is above the law, are we going to take that seriously? Because right now, Donald Trump has absolutely said, yeah, there are people above the law. So, shout out to Anton, by the way, game on the Knicks. But regardless, guys, we got to keep it going. We got to try to keep each other motivated. You know what I mean? It's late. I might, this is not a promise. I might hop on another stream. Technically, today is still night, but y'all know what I mean. Tomorrow, I might. But for now, I'm Todd Rooster Warlock, guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the network. You all have a good evening, and you have an even greater week. We'll see you next week. Peace.